And we are live here on Plus One EXP's Roll for Content actual play channel. Tonight we are going to be playing Coyote and Crow, which is a near future alternate history Native American future punk RPG that's live on Kickstarter right now. And honestly, killing it, but I hope that after watching tonight, if you haven't already backed it, that you go out and do that. You can find the link to go check out that Kickstarter right between all of our beautiful faces right down there. The middle ttrpg.link /CNCKS, or if you type !KS into the chat, if you're watching us on Twitch, it'll prop that link right up for you. My name's Tony Vicinda. You can find me at Tony Vicinda across all social media platforms. We're Plus One EXP. We're a weird little brand that multi-classed in tabletop game design, beard and skincare alchemy, and the Bardic College of Content Creation. Our dream is just to help independent game designers find amazing players who love their games and help players find amazing independent games that they can fall in love with. I'm super excited to share this game and this crew with you tonight. I'm going to have our different players introduce themselves, and then I'm going to have Shay, our story guide for the night, tell us a little bit about the game and then kind of take us into the world of Coyote and Crow. Before I do that, we do use lines, veils, and the X cards as a safety tool here in the channel, unless the game dictates another one. Lines are things that we that may happen in the world of our game, but don't happen during the course of our game. It's not what our content matter is or that we focus on. Veils are things that may happen in the course of our game, but we want to handle them in a specific way or be very specific about how we're approaching them, or just kind of mention that they're happening and then move forward. And then the X card is something that anyone can use at any time during the game to express that they're uncomfortable or confused about something. They can say X, type it in the chat, whatever they need to do. And then we'll stop, pause, back up, figure out what the issue is. No one has to explain it. We just need to know what it is so we can avoid it and then move forward in a different direction. So as we're going around, as I'm having you all introduce yourselves, if there's any lines or veils that you want to state, please feel free to let us know. But we're going to start with the Hefe himself. Jeff, go ahead and tell people who you are, what you do, and where they can find you on the internet.
Hey, everybody. I just got a weird noise. Sorry about that. I'm Jeff, a.k.a. El Jefe Tacoma, and I do a few podcasts, Shattered Worlds RPG, The War for the Tower, and sorry, my headphones are acting up. And Everything is Awesome, which is an arts and interviews show. You can find me on Twitter at EIA Podcast or my personal one at El Jefe Tacoma.
Awesome. And right above Jeff, we have Diana. Diana, tell people who. Oh, Jeff, did you have any lines or veils that you wanted to add?
I usually go with like I don't love slavery or like kind of sexual coercion. Those are usually either a line or veil. I'm not, depending on how I feel during the day.
I didn't say this. We do have a strong line against sexual violence on the channel, always. Cool. not as an option, but yeah. So a line or a veil against sexual coercion, against slavery. Okay, perfect. Awesome. Diana, tell people who you are, what you do, where you're from. If you have any lines or veils you want to throw up, go ahead and tell us those also.
Hi, I'm Diana Lorraine. You may have heard me as the co-host of Powered by the Players, a Powered by the Apocalypse mini campaign and one-shot podcast. I'm also the co-GM of Christmastide, Ohio, which is a Kids on Bikes actual play podcast set in a fictional Christmas town. And then I also am the co-host of a bunch of Macintosh and Mod podcasts, which is a bunch of My Little Pony movies and Riverdale themed podcasts. And you can find me on Twitter at Modcaster, MAUDCASTER. And as in addition to what Jeff has, my only line for me personally is just teeth stuff. Y'all can get bitey and chompy, just not with my character, please.
Awesome. We're going to hop over to Jeremy. Jeremy, tell people who you are, what you do, where they can find you on the internet, and if you have any lines or veils you want to name, go ahead and toss those out.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jeremy Gage. I use he, him pronouns. You can find me at JeremyH5 over on Twitter. I am the host of the Draw Your Dice podcast, where we talk with game designers of all walks of life to get their principles and philosophies to help educate and inspire your next game design product content. And the only line I want to add to what's already been said is mind control that specifically designates self-harm.
Cool. Perfect. Awesome. And then Shay, tell people about you, who you are, what your role on the team for Coyote and Crow has been, because there's a large team of people who are part of this project. And then give us the elevator pitch for Coyote and Crow also.
Okay. So my name is Shay. I use they, them pronouns. You can find me at Smells and Sugar on Twitter, and you can also find you can find me with Coyote and Crow. I'm actually the head of playtesting. Connor and I have been talking for a little while about this project, and I'm basically the one who made sure, okay, you have all these rules. Let's make sure these rules work now. And generally they work. Elevator pitch for Coyote and Crow. It's the world where colonization never happened in the North American, South American continent. There was an incident happened hundreds of years ago that was the Ois, and it caused sort of a global shift in weather, which isolated North and South America away from what is the rest of the world. And with that, indigenous people were able to sort of grow and develop all sorts of different technologies and things on their own without that inherent backdrop of European invasion and influence. So that's us.
Awesome.
We're sort of science fiction fantasy-y.
Yeah. No, I love it. People have been asking me what it was, and I was like, it feels like I was like, there's not a like clean word for it, but it feels like Native American, like future punk almost. It's kind of the general vibe. I've been super excited ever since I saw Connor start posting out about the game. I have been super excited to have this happen. I also I loved the way the game page on Kickstarter really covered, like, this is a game for everyone, but also even in the rules, there's a couple of notes like, hey, if you're not from a Native American background, here's something to think about or be aware of, which I found super helpful in the kind of the beta rules that we just read through, which I thought was great. So I don't know. I did not ask or query if any of our players tonight have a Native American background or ancestry. But what are things that people who are not from a Native American background should know going into playing the game, since we're about to do that and I don't have one?
So going into the game, there's a few things. If you're not Native yourself, and I've spoken this with a few other play testers, don't be afraid to mispronounce something, but also be aware that if you do, that I'll go ahead and I'll correct you and let you know how it is pronounced. Don't be afraid to sort of be like, so this is what my character wants to do, because they find that it would be traditional. And generally, people are good at heart and they want to do good things, and I have faith that y'all aren't going to do anything terrible with it. Just go ahead and be comfortable, be flexible. Don't be afraid to make mistakes, because anything that you do, as long as you know it's not offensive, it'll be good.
Cool. Awesome. Great. Like I said, I've been excited to play. I just think it's worth, like, that's a good conversation to have. Representative games has been a big conversation on the stream for us lately. And so I love the way that Coyote and Crow has been handling that, even from the Kickstarter page, but also in the rules that I've read a little bit of. So I'm just going to hand things over to you to take us into the game.
Okay. So let me get this up. And Roll20 wants to pitch slightly a fit. So with this, we will be going through sort of a pre-written adventure that's been created, and that is going to be Encounter at Station 54. Now, this is more of an introduction for Coyote and Crow, and it's great that we've got 4 people, because it's really good to play it through 4 characters. And real quick, y'all will be playing through, double check. Y'all are going to be playing Aten, Desba, Jaya, and Kimmy, correct?
Yep.
Fantastic. Let me go ahead and move y'all over.
Oh, since we were playing with Roll20, I was going to use the dice roller there, but should I have, like, physical dice instead?
You can use either physical dice or the Roll20 dice. I trust y'all to do what is more comfortable for y'all.
All right. If it's too unwieldy, I'll go get my.
No, I rather than rummaging through and finding the 8-ish to 9-ish D12s I needed, I have, but I just
We
would have
do
had to
use a
ransack.
lot of D12s.
Yeah,
in Coyote
because
Crow.
it's a D12 dice pool system. I was just planning on using the roller also.
Yeah. All right. So just a little bit of background on this. Y'all are part of the Sieta, which is the sort of the private police force of Cahokia, which is the main city as part of the all my brain just fell out of my head, which is part of the main city that a lot of Coyote and Crow takes part in. So coming over here, it is twilight, and the forest around you is eerily silent, only the crunch of leaves under your feet cutting through. Suddenly, you're near blinded by a bright light at a spotlight mounted to a commercial drone. So part of Coyote and Crow is we don't use a standard initiative system, and you will choose your initiatives. So you should have all of those listed on your character sheet. I will bring up my initiative tracker. And you can choose any initiative at that or below. There it is.
Okay, so instead of having to muck about with holding actions, you just say like, I could pick a lower number that round or whatever, or at the start.
Mhm.
Okay.
So let's go in order from left to right, just because. Desba, what would you like your initiative to be?
I'd like to go at 8, please.
All right. And Kimmy?
I'll stick with 7.
All right. And that's it?
11.
Big numbers.
Am
And
I
Jaya.
spiking, by the way? Like, I'm spiking in my headset for some reason.
You sound totally fine.
Okay, cool.
And Jaya, what would you like to go at?
I have an 8. I don't know. Do we need to pick not all the same numbers?
No.
Okay, 8 then.
Okay.
High five. 8's high five. Oh, wait, where are you? Here?
You and I are. It depends on what screen you're looking at. On one screen, you're above me. On another screen, you and I are right next to each other.
Just touch me, dude. Just touch me.
Since you're both 8s, I'm gonna imagine you guys doing the after you, like Chippendale thing.
So let me get all these guys in here. All right. So Tin, you come on the scene and you see before you there are 3 raiders and there are 3 drones shaped like owls. And what would you like to do for your major action on this turn?
These drones, are they doing surveillance? Are they on the picture? They're between these folks. Are they down at ground level? What's the deal there?
They're hovering at about at their head level, and they look like they're starting up their mag slings that they have armed on them.
Oh, so they have an aggressive posture.
Yes, everybody here is aggressive. The raiders are also readying their war axes.
Gotcha. Okay. I guess I will run off to one side. Is there anywhere with cover?
On this map, there is currently not anywhere with cover.
Okay, so I'll just run to the far edge, I guess. Which token am I?
Let me double check. I'm
Oh,
looking
I'm
at a
the
lot
guy
of
with the
descriptions.
bow.
Yep, there you are. There's Aten.
I'll just run over here and take a shot at this drone right here.
Okay.
The one on the far right. So if I look at my character sheet, Magbo is 8.
Yep, that means you're going to roll 8 d12.
Okay. So I'll do
And the
a
difficulty
40
on
then.
this is you need to succeed at a 3 or higher.
Oh, so I got 8.
Yep. And what's interesting on there is you also got a critical die, so you can add that into your critical dice pool. So that would mean you're going to roll an additional 2d12
Oh, fun. On this roll or save it?
up on this roll.
Okay. So it looks like I got 2 more successes.
Yep. So that's going to be each is another second success. Let me put that in here real quick.
I love a game that lets me keep it rolling. That's for my show, Shattered Worlds. That's like the slogan because I love that shit.
Oh yeah.
Stuff. What's the swearing rule, Tony? I forget.
I was just about to ask.
Our swearing rule is what we attempt is, and we're only good at about 50% of the time, is PG-13, which means we get one F-bomb the entire
F-bomb.
way through. So if you're
One.
gonna
Just
use it, make sure it's the right time.
Okay, is
You know.
that one F-bomb per person?
No, it's one F-bomb total. Like that's the goal. It doesn't
one
matter.
F-bomb
Yeah,
the entire
it's
Okay.
it's the one F-bomb currency that we all share as a party, and we have
Okay,
to decide
okay.
when we want to activate it.
Okay,
Now
okay.
you can activate it whenever you want to. We can't stop you.
That's
But
true.
you know,
Make it worth it. Make it
that's
worth
right.
it.
That's got to decide. But as many shits and dams as you want. That's all good.
All right, that'll work. All right. So Atin, you pull your mag bow back. The string activates in your hand because it's not an actual string; it's a science fiction-y bow. So you pull it back, it activates in your hand. The arrow flies forth, and this drone explodes into sparks. Now you can take any additional actions that you would like because secondary actions are unlimited in Coyote and Crow. I'm going to delete this fella because you've already destroyed him.
So basically, I can shout. That's my secondary action.
Yep.
Which is take out their toys.
All right. And then we'll move on to the other remaining drones, which have higher initiatives than y'all. This fellow's going to fly over here to Atin and sort of try to back up his friend. And then he is going to try and hit you with a ranged attack. Make sure I can still do this. Now tell me, what is your body number?
It's probably bad. Oh no, it's 10.
It's 10, so he does 2 body damage to you on this.
Okay. I wonder if I can. Okay. Nowhere to make notes on my PDF app. So I got paper. So that's 2 damage. Is that the only effect?
Yep, that's the only effect.
Cool. I go, ow.
And then this drone sees Desba out there with your war axe and is also going to try and take a hit on you.
Keep them coming.
And what is your body count?
It is 10, so I believe I receive no damage.
You receive no damage. He fires the mag sling off at you, and that little sling bullet goes wild. Didn't even break a sweat.
I like to imagine I cut that ish in half.
Now let's do this real quick. Desma or Jaya, which of you would like to go first?
I'm sorry to interrupt. My initiative is actually 13 because of a quirk.
Okay.
I know it doesn't matter at all.
I'm even faster than I originally thought I was.
I'm more amazing. I just wanted to make that sure.
Just want to make sure
everybody knew that.
everybody knows how great I am.
I'm amazing.
Sparks
All
came
right,
out of
remind
my
me real
shoes.
quick which character you're playing.
Aten. Sparks came out of my shoes as I was running away.
Yeah,
Just
there you go.
so that's clear.
But now, Desma or Jaya, which of you would like to go first?
I am fine going second. I'm also
Okay.
fine going first.
I would like to take a secondary action to close the gap with one of the raiders.
All right, go
Move.
ahead, move your token to do that.
Absolutely. I don't know if I can select it. #/move it.
Oh, I
You
don't
know
seem
what?
I don't seem to have permissions for that either.
That is my bad.
No stress. No stress. I'm here to swing a war club.
Go ahead, try now.
Got it. All right. So I close the distance 1. I am also going to use my ability Warrior's Fire. So that's going to cost me 1 mind, bringing me down to 6. As long as I make a strength-based primary action, I can add 1 to that dice roll. So I'm going to follow that up with my War Club swing, which is 8 dice plus the 1, making 9. As I try to cleave upward at this raider. What is my difficulty for this?
Difficulty for this would be physical defense. That's going to be a 4.
Heard. Thank you.
Ooh, you got a critical fail and a critical dice. Now, when you get a critical fail, that does count out one of your successes.
Sure.
But with your critical dice, you are now able to roll 2 additional d12 and add that to your damage.
Which I am initiating now.
So then
Ooh.
altogether, 6. So you do 8 damage to the body. Now, do you want to describe this, or do you want me to describe this?
Yeah, I just imagine. What sort of armor or clothing are these raiders wearing?
They seem to be wearing sort of like a light tactical armor. It's like a leather, but it's a hardened leather.
I imagine you just hear like a big wet crunch noise, like the War Club, the spiky pieces just cleave into the chest area and rip upwards, like there's this grinding plastic carbon fiber noise.
All right, and Desmond, you are able to efficiently clear out that raider. Is there anything you'd like to do as a secondary action?
I just have to check for my rage conditions, but other than that, I think I want to also secondary shout out, because we're here to claim whatever is fallen into this crater. Is that what I'm assessing here?
You are on a recon mission.
Heard. Okay. Then I just shout back, they're here for something, and we're going to get it first.
All right, Jaya, it is your turn.
Jaya is gonna pull out her is it a mag sling? Is that right? Yes.
Yep.
And try to hit this raider. How do I ping? There's a ping.
You hold down.
I hold down. This raider right here.
Okay.
And I have 6 in ranged, and it looks like a +1 for the mag sling. Does that sound right?
Yep, so that'd be 7d12.
All right. So,
And your difficult on that is going to be the same as Despa's was. That's going to be 4.
but say if I typed in D6, and if I do that, this will be a much more challenging game. So that looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 successes.
All right. So you are able to make physical contact with him. Your mag sling starts up, flings that sling bullet as hard as it can, and he looks significantly under the weather now as it just slams into him and he hunches over, grabbing at his stomach. He is still technically up.
I don't think there's anything else I can really do with a secondary action per se. Is there? I can move, I guess, but I guess I do kind of want to move maybe kind of more across the crater from the guy I just hit, just kind of positioning myself a little bit better to not get run up on by this guy.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And shout, yeah, and that's what I got.
And Kimmy.
Okay, I want to hack the drones.
Okay. Absolutely.
Okay.
You can go up to one of them and do that.
Okay, so that's going to be using my computer skill.
Mhm.
So, okay, I just want to make sure I'm understanding building my dice pool correctly.
Right.
So that's, I have it's a stat of 4, rank of 4, so it's a total of 8.
Yes. So it's going to be 8d12 that you roll for that.
Okay, that's what I thought. Just wanted to be sure.
And let me double check this.
1, 2, right. So I got 4 successes.
All right, 4 successes. Looking at here, yes, you are able to successfully hack into that drone. What would you like to do?
That drone is now my drone.
Okay.
It works for me now.
All right, so let me grab this drone. And I have given you control. So on your turn, as a secondary action, you can now tell that drone what to do and it will fire.
Who am I closest next to? It is going. So I get to do a secondary action now, correct?
Yeah, you can have as many
Okay.
secondary actions as you like.
Okay. I want to fire that one. It's not letting me ping.
I had to hold down a little bit longer than I thought originally. Yeah.
Yep.
There we go. Shoot that one.
This blue one up here?
Yeah.
Absolutely. So then your drone, now that you have him, his ranged attack is 3d12s.
Okay.
So if you want to roll that,
3d12s.
and he needs to get a 4 or higher on those.
I only got 1 success.
You still succeed.
Yes.
So he, shoots that off, and it pings off of this guy's ear and does him 1 damage.
I accept.
So this raider is going to close ranks with Desba and attempt to give you a nasty hit with his war axe. Get over here.
Shay, I had a quick question regarding the numbers in the parentheses after a weapon.
Yes.
Where it said, like, for the magbow, it says +2, and then it has what I assume are range modifiers.
Yes, it does. Let me bring you up real quick. Because I need to be able to, look at everything.
So if it was close range like this, I would get +3, I'm imagining.
Mm-hmm. That's correct. You would get an additional 3d12s.
Okay, nice.
5d12. And he did get a critical success. Now, what is your body number? I'm sorry, what is your physical defense? I'm so sorry.
Are you talking Desba?
Yeah.
No,
Sorry.
you specifically, Jeff.
My
No, Jeff,
physical-
what is your physical defense?
Desba's physical defense is 7.
And did you see
7.
if you have armor on, it adds 1 to physical defense. Did you check your items to make sure you?
Okay.
Mhm. I believe it is already factored into my knowledge.
It should be.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, just making sure.
So
Based on the math.
7. So he gets 1 success. So his war axe, he goes to make contact with you, and it bounces off your superior C8 armor.
I'm just
He lightly
screaming.
bruises you.
I love it.
And this raider is going to close ranks with Aten
Oh,
and
no, he
attempt to
didn't.
do the same.
You're wasting
What
your
is
time.
Aten's physical defense?
Well, it says 8 on the character sheet. And is it the same deal, including my armor?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's 8.
So he similarly, poor guy rolls a critical fail along with 2 successes. So he gets 1 success on you, and he deals you 1 point of body damage, as he also tries to slam his war axe into you.
Ow. Not cool, dude.
We are going into the second round of this. Aten, you're up. You have just been slapped with a war axe.
I'm gonna chameleon shine.
Okay.
So
Now, Chameleon Shine is your special ability. And why don't you read for us what that does?
okay. Before I do this, by the way, I look him dead in the eye and I go, "You should give up," and then I disappear. When this ability is activated, your character becomes harder to see. They aren't truly invisible, but close. To activate Chameleon Shine, characters spend a secondary action, spend 1 point of soul, and roll a dice pool equal to twice their spirit. For others to see a character using this ability, the difficulty number is equal to the character's number of successes. plus their ranks in stealth. So I guess if you're good at stealth, you're better at spotting the enemy.
Mhm.
Is that correct?
No, it's harder if you're what, say it one more time.
Oh, the difficulty number is
difficulty
increased
number.
by my ranks and
Okay.
stealth. Okay,
Yep.
cool. And then others can make perception checks and stuff. But basically, if I try to interfere with somebody, I have to make another roll to stay shined, as it were.
Mhm.
So I've got to roll a bunch of dice. Twice their spirit, so that's 8 dice.
This whole game is about rolling a whole bunch of dice.
Yay.
Yeah. So I'm seeing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or no, 1. What is the difficulty number? I guess it
You're
depends on-
creating a difficulty number right now. So how many successes did you get?
Yeah. So,
So standard success would be a 7. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. You did 5. So that's the difficulty to see you.
okay, cool.
Let me get over
Plus my
here.
3 ranks in stealth, so they need an 8.
8. They would need to roll an 8 to be able to see you.
Sweet.
Oh.
Nice.
All right,
Oh,
now
and
that
then
does-
I move, and that's a secondary action. So then I
Yep.
move away from him again, and I waste his. Does he still have a droid? This guy here?
Yeah, that's his droid right there.
Okay, I shoot it.
All right, go ahead and do so.
So that will be 11. This is
Rest
going to be
in
a lot
peace,
of
droid.
dice.
Rest in peace.
Bam. Bam.
Oof. Oh.
And then 1.
Oh yeah. Your magazine makes contact and just it explodes into spark. That droid never existed. That's how hard you've hit that thing.
Because I attacked somebody, I have to make that roll to stay shined. So
That's correct.
unless the okay. Must make another spirit check and spend another point of soul. So it's just another 8 d12s here. So did I do enough?
Let me double check you.
Oh, is it repeating so it changes the conditions? It's basically just like casting it again.
Yep.
Okay.
Cool.
All right. So you are able to successfully do that. That drone, the enemy drone is gone. So he's no longer in our initiative. Desmond and Jai, I'm going to give y'all the chance to figure out who wants to go first in this round.
Oh, I'm not surrounded by a bunch of really angry people. Or I guess there's only one angry person because now now that drone belongs to Kimi. So I guess you should go first.
Cool. Your rage boy here to put the smack down. I am. Quick question. On my war club, it says critical : stat damage. Does that just mean I have additional damage whenever I roll crit?
That means that you do damage directly to their stat that you're inflicting. So with body, I believe it would be directly to their strength.
Heard. Oh wow. Rest in peace, dude. Well, then I will continue my Warrior's Fire as my primary action to do another War Club, and that stacks. So now instead of 9 die, I roll 10 die on my attack.
There you go.
I'm stage whispering to you, let's take him hostage. Right as you rip him into 3 sections.
No, I will non-lethal this individual. Unless the war club says otherwise.
Destroy all
mean-
his strength and leave.
That is going to be the difficulty number is 4. Is that what you said before?
Yep, difficulty number is 4.
Cool. I'm here to numbers. I didn't do this last time, so I'm hoping to do it this time. I have a gift of blessing, melee weapons master, so I may disregard the first 1 I roll when I use a melee weapon.
Absolutely.
Cool. 6. So that gives me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 successes.
Oh my gosh. Wow. All right. Go ahead. How about you describe to me what you're about to do to this dude?
Yeah, so I get the call from, hey, don't murder the guy. No, I give a heavy eye roll and I basically take a leg off, just clean off.
Oof.
That's going to be hard to treat.
He's got a limited window to talk. That's what I made. The clock is ticking now.
I don't think our survival kits are equipped for this.
Hit him
Whereabouts on the leg are you
with a
pulverizing?
sideways
We're
on
like
there.
at a solid full knee. Goodbye the knee, dude.
Oh no.
Watching you turn him sideways while that was being described was actually somewhat disturbing.
There's a Monty Python style gout of blood just arcing.
As a
happening.
secondary action, because of my rage, I would like to do a will check, which is 4 for me. So I'm gonna roll 4 dice. What's the difficulty of this? I think I just have to make a standard success of 7. It looks like, unless okay, cool.
Unless
So-
specified otherwise, you have to do that.
Heard, thank you. So that's gonna be 4d12. And if I get a success twice in a row, which is 1, 2, 3, cool. So this is a success here. If I get another success, 3 successes, I can end my rage. Can I keep making this check, or do I have to wait till the next turn? This seems like a unique thing to me.
You can go ahead and you can keep doing this just because you have limited secondary checks.
I just don't want to rip any of my allies apart, because if I can't
Yeah,
make
that's
these
fair.
roll checks, I start lashing into you guys.
I'm on board with you not being a rage monster
Fair.
when everyone else is done. Yeah.
We've all had that barbarian at our bar. It's not fun.
Okay, so that negates one of my successes, but still leaves me with a success.
Yeah.
So cool.
That's correct.
Cool. And then one more roll, /4d12, and that still leaves me with a success, which should be good, right? Cool. So my rage ends. I can't use it again until I take a short or a long rest for the rest of the day.
There you go.
And that
All right. So
be my turn.
his leg's gone flying. Jaya, what would you like to do?
I am going to use my my mag sling to hit this clown down towards the bottom here.
This guy up here.
Yeah.
All right.
And actually, I did math a little bit wrong last time. I think I should have been rolling 8, but I rolled a D18, D12. Nope, I did it wrong. I can't type. I put the thing on the wrong side. And this is still 4, I'm guessing. So I got.
It is still 4. Yeah.
Do I have to beat it or match it?
You have to match it.
Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
All right. So with that, your sling bullet buries deep into this guy's gullet, and he collapses to the ground.
Always in the gullet. Always aim for the gullet.
Aim for the gullet.
And Kimi. Now, as y'all turn to this final raider in the drone, everything sort of freezes and blurs a little bit, and a box of text appears in the center field of your vision that says "Simulation ended. Priority messages incoming."
Oh.
Oh man, I was gonna treat that guy's wounds.
I was too.
Did we know this was fake when we started?
Yeah.
Aten gets really into it.
we all get pretty into it.
So the forest and the drones fade away, and the message is automatically played. The young woman's voice comes over. "Good morning, Sieta. Apologies for interrupting your training. The Council of 12 has sent a summons, and you must report to Council Hall immediately." And this all slowly fades from your view And as you remove your VR headsets, you are in a large dirt circle marked by stones. Your gear is off to the side, and there's a path to Cahokia to the west.
I was just getting warmed up.
I should have been able to get all of the drones in one go and not just one.
They didn't give us enough time, you know?
I should be faster.
Yeah. Well, it's funny that you have that thought now, because if I had just run up to the side, I probably could have got them all with one shot, but I didn't have that thought. So remind me next time if I go faster.
Okay, we should all just be faster in general. Just be faster.
I was pretty fast. I'm not gonna
You were
lie to you.
super fast.
You were very
Yeah.
vicious too.
Yeah. It's because I knew they
Maybe-
weren't real. I would be kinder in a real
We're
situation.
supposed to enter the simulation as though it's real combat.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
So you did great for that.
I think I think we're supposed to be going.
Walking and talking.
Yeah. This is a West Wing situation.
We're multitasking here. We're very good at it.
So as y'all are having your conversation, you enter into Cahokia. Now, Cahokia is a bustling open city that sprawls for miles. Brightly painted low buildings constructed on earthen mounds contrast against 100-foot-tall spires. Mag barges float effortlessly above the rooftops while smaller sun wings zip around the sky. People go about their shopping and children play with their grandparents under an almost cloudless sky.
Nice
And
day.
And as y'all make your way through this city, you do notice that as you seem to approach wearing your Sieta armor and gear, some people sort of veer away from you. You were reminded that your existence in this city and just your presence reminds people that the world is currently changing, and a lot of things are very unsure right now. But as you're moving around, you are able to approach the building that has the Council of 12.
Are those our bosses?
The Council of 12 is actually the governing authority of Cahokia.
It's boss people.
So they are the 12 most powerful people in the nation.
So
The whole nation,
Yeah.
not just this town.
Mm-hmm.
Jaya's like straightening her armor and like kind of like spick and spanning up as much as possible.
I'm just loose and casual. I'm a loose cannon cop with nothing to lose. So
we got that whenever you cut that person's leg off.
Kimi is
Yeah.
like trying to like recalibrate her hacking devices. Like she does not care.
Okay, so I'm seeing you do this, and I'm like, did you like take over that drone?
Yes.
That was
That's
so
what-
cool.
Yes, that's what I'm complaining about. I should have been able to do all 3 of the drones at one time, and yet I was only able to do one. They must have beefed up their firewalls or something.
Okay. Yeah, that makes more sense, because I didn't see you shooting, and then there was this owl near you. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I thought maybe you were just friendly.
I mean, just beware of your tech presence.
you don't want your identity stolen. Remember to
So now as
eliminate.
y'all are moving through the council, the receiving chamber is accessed at the top of a series of short, broad steps. The walls are painted in patterns that draw your eye to the broad, curved table where the council sits. These are the representatives of the most powerful tribes and families in Cahokia, and they are accustomed to deference. Arenia, a gray-haired counselor with taut dark skin and piercing eyes, stands up to address you. Thank you for coming promptly. I understand that this is your first mission. Congratulations on joining the ranks of the Sieta.
Thank you.
Do we have
Thank
to
you.
bow or like respectfully do any saluting or anything like
It
that?
is respectful. You would know. So let me go over here actually and double check something. If you will, on that, go ahead and roll me a culture check.
Ooh.
culture. That's
For
not
is this all of
Everyone
us?
skill, is it?
Yeah, anybody who can.
Okay.
Actually,
Is
just
it-
go ahead and roll me knowledge. Sorry. Quoting
Alright,
some
so I was
older
like,
stuff.
I have no culture, so
Knowledge.
Alright.
And even if you're
3.
not trained in a skill, if it doesn't have the little asterisk by it, you can roll a check on it anyway.
Heard. Okay.
Cool.
Knowledge. There you are.
I got 2.
1.
2.
Yeah, I did it.
There you go, Desma.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I know it. What of it?
I got some of those low rolls out. I got 1 success.
And Desma, since you got that critical, you can actually roll 2 more d12 to add to that.
Oh yeah. More dice, more dice. Hey, didn't do it, but great.
So what you're able to tell with these knowledge checks is that the way you show deference is that you stand up straight and you look them in the eye when you're speaking to an elder.
Okay.
And you, whenever they address you directly, you're supposed to reply to them. But otherwise, it's wise to stay quiet.
I should take off my sunglasses then.
Oh yeah, you should probably take off your sunglasses. Yes. No hats. You know.
For anyone who's seen like Brooklyn Nine-Nine, this is a very Jake Peralta situation I'm
Yes.
starting to walk into in my mind.
As you all reply to her congratulations, she nods. She goes, "Your service is appreciated. There may be a problem at one of our northern stations, and we're sending your team to investigate. It's not a glamorous first assignment. Prove yourselves, and more opportunities will come. Station 54 is an atmospheric research station, and they have stopped sending communications. The nearest community, Skidawak, reports that the scientists stationed there have not been seen in 3 weeks. The mission details will be sent to your NECs. Submit your reports when the mission is done. Good luck."
Good
Thank
fight.
you.
I raised my hand sort of awkwardly. Yes, I'm Aten. How much authority do we wield? Are we authorized to shoot, or do we have to? Are there conflict resolution techniques we need to be trained on?
Attend, that was 101.
As you ask her this question, she sort of looks back at the council and then looks you directly in the eye, and she's like, "Well, Skidawak is not technically part of our nation, and we have a treaty with them. So I would expect you to be mindful."
Follow up? Yes, honored citizen. Do we have a contact over there that we can connect with to make sure we don't ruffle anyone's feathers?
Yes, you'll be meeting with the village elders. The information will be included on your NECs.
Okay.
So as you go to think of more questions, you're actually ushered out by the Beating Guild, who is busy with their meeting with the council, and you are ushered out into the main area away from the table.
I'm going to assume that was a
Peter.
D and not a T guild, right? That was
Yes.
a beating
That's
guild,
what I heard.
not a T guild.
Yeah, beating is a big thing in native cultures, and they have a whole guild for it now, and it's filled with lots of aunties.
That's awesome.
And
Oh,
they have problems with beads right now. They're a little
big bead problems.
Big bead problems.
We are not at the level. We are not at a high enough level to deal with bead problems yet.
You
That's,
are not.
we gotta-
No.
But as they enter in, you are able to step outside the building and double check in your Anisius. And you see, despite the fact that she stated that you would need to be careful about what you do, you have been authorized to use any force as necessary.
Sick.
Good to know.
as necessary.
Yep.
Okay. I like that caveat and that we have it in writing. Good to know. I'm saving that to my personnel file for later.
But it also does detail again that Sakitawak is not technically a part of the council's authority, and it is an independent community. They have included a map of the area, which I will bring you to once I learn how to use tabs properly.
Necessity is
So I'll be
relative.
like, so Kimmy, I don't know do you think it'd be a good idea for us to like avoid starting a war while we're there?
That's a good default position to take.
I'm saying this loud enough so Despa can hear.
Yeah.
Oh, I hear. Oh, I hear.
So, Aten, I just think as a normal general rule, you, specifically you, should always assume you shouldn't start a war. Unless someone tells you to start a war. You should always be trying to not start a war.
Cool.
Okay. Like if we need to write that down for you, if we need to like inscribe it on your weapons.
It's more just
Sure.
like keep it top of mind, so you know as
Maybe
we
we can
go along.
we can ask one of the aunties to beat it onto something for you. Let's make it happen.
Glasses off. I'll 10. I hear what you're doing. I see what you're doing. We'll talk about it when we get there. Glasses on.
Oof.
Desma, I don't trust you to be a good influence on Aten.
But what you do trust me to do is get the job done.
Depends on the job.
The
Depends on the job.
motto is trust us.
Can I
to
get a new
the job
crew?
done.
Despa, out.
So in addition to the maps and things, they did include a data sheet on the 3 scientists that are there. You see the 3 of them. The first one is Yanaba, and she is the lead researcher. She is from Cahokia. She's been stationed at the facility for 5 years, and the photo shows a middle-aged woman with an air of authority. The second is Wematan, and he was an assistant research and data analyst, and he has been stationed there for 2 years. And that photo shows a young man fresh out of training. And the third scientist was Liwanu, and he was stationed at the facility for 7 years. He was a mechanical engineer, and his photo shows an older man with a bright smile. Now
So it's Liwana, Wiyate,
And
Or
Yanaba.
Wiyata.
it's Yanaba,
Yanaba, excuse me.
I'll put it over here,
And Liwanu.
Wematan,
Martin,
and Liwanu.
Okay. I'm good at listening, you guys.
That's pretty close.
Is foot the normal mode of travel, or is there a normal way we would get from where we're at to the village?
Yeah, so it looks like with the directions they provided you with that, you would actually be taking a Yutsu barge, which is a bigger version of a mag barge. And you would be able to take the barge to a different terminal, and then you would travel by foot from that terminal to Antiwa, which is another city not far from Sekitawak. Basically, it's a little bit too far for you to walk directly from the barge terminal to Sekitawak, so there's a midpoint where you'll stop and stay the night.
Cool.
But before you go, you have some time to prepare. If you'd like, you can go ahead and you can do some double checking on Sekitawak and on Station 54 itself.
That absolutely
with-
sounds like something that Jaya would be 100% into.
Okay. So you can make this in one of 2 ways. First, you can do a computer check with your Anisi, or you can do a knowledge or science check with your at the library. And this is all with the standard difficulty number of 8.
I would like to go to the library because I am that kind of nerd.
Okay.
Traditional.
So would you like to research Sekitawak or Station 54?
That's an excellent question. Probably Station 54.
All right. Go ahead and roll me either your knowledge or your science check for that.
Or science, you said?
Yep, you can do one or the other.
I'm gonna look real quick. I didn't look at science. No, yeah,
Weird
knowledge.
science.
You had to.
Mm-hmm.
Respect.
If only I hit the things I wanted to hit when I typed things in. I didn't find anything. Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Unless there's a difficulty number that's lower than 7. But
No.
uh,
Use the standard difficulty number.
I get lost in the stacks. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah, it
wandering
happens,
around.
you know? You're like,
yeah.
yeah, station 54, station 54, station 54. Ooh, new trade reports. You know, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Does anybody else want to do any knowledge checks or anything else?
I'm really good at first aid, so I assume I got training in the military or whatever. But I'm wondering, could that suggest that I know the local EMTs or like I know where they hang out, anything like that?
Like here in Cahokia or in Sakitawak?
Here in Cahokia.
Yeah, you can locate a medical area for that.
Okay, cool. So I just roll in acting all cool, and I'm like, hand out chocolate bars to my friends or whatever. and I'm like, you hear any news from Station 54 or Sakitawak? Any injured people come in from out there? You know anything?
Ooh.
What's the deal? What's the hubbub? I have terrible charisma, so keep that in mind.
Is there a specific kind of check you're wanting to roll with that, with coaxing your friends into giving you information?
No, it's just working contacts, if there's
Okay.
any wild rumors.
All right, go ahead and roll me if you will. Let me double check this. We're gonna go a little bit off the rails.
Yeah.
Roll me like an investigation check on that.
Okay, cool. So I got 4.
We're doing it live.
Hey, I got 2, and then a critical fail. How does that affect it?
So you get 1.
So, what you know about what they're able to tell you about Sakitawak is that about 70 people live there. And they have, like limited printing resources and such.
Cool.
So it's kind of a small village.
But it's not like there's a bunch of radioactive zombies coming out of there.
No, they don't know. They don't know anything about that.
Yeah.
But Kimi, if you'd like, because you're actually really good with computers, you can use your Anisi to do all sorts of research if you'd like to check on that.
Yeah, I want to use it to hack the computers to tell me what it has about Station 50.
So it is important to know that for hacking, you do work for the government, and this would be hacking a government system, and they would be able to track that.
I mean, I work for the government, and they're telling me to go do something for them, so I think this is fair.
And question mark, she said.
I'm doing my homework for my job.
All right. They do have need to know information on that. So if you dig a little bit too deep, they might not be happy with you.
I mean, I'm gonna let the dice tell me how much I need to know that I'm
Roll me your hacking check.
Is there a help function in the game? Like an
Let me
assist?
double check what those rules are real quick.
Or you can be like, turn it off and turn it on again.
I want a bodyguard. I'm like, do what you gotta do. I'm here to impress.
Okay, I got 4 successes
Oof.
out of 9. Because I have a 9 in hacking.
All right. So let me
Pretty good.
do this.
So I guess I didn't find out too much on my hacking.
You're good. So here's what I'll tell you. This is for Station 54, right?
Yes.
So here's what you learned by hacking it and by getting those successes. You learned that there is a lead scientist at that station. The lead scientist, Yanaba, she does not have her training in climate science. She has her training in geology.
Mhm.
And you also realize as you're digging a little bit into that the location of the station doesn't really make sense for doing climate research. It would need to be about 1.5 miles further north.
Okay. So it's not what it says it is.
Yep.
What? Okay. I mean, duh.
Anybody else want to do anything before you make your way out to the Yutsu barge to catch a ride?
So I didn't find anything about Station 54. Can I look up the local history of, say the name of the city, the village again one more time?
Sakitawak.
Sakitawak.
Yeah. You can do that with either a computer's check or a knowledge check.
Do that knowledge again, or at least try to again.
Beats.
Since we're spending the night, I would want to get a couple of snares or traps or whatever to catch game while we're out there.
All right. So three checks
successes
on Sakitawak.
Nice.
So you know that in Sakitawak, the culture is that it's customary to refuse an offer 3 times before accepting. And additionally, it's customary to offer their council a gift upon arrival, especially a food item.
Ooh, okay. We need to get a food item.
So we'll each bring a different kind of cheesecake.
I'm bringing Grandma's potluck duck.
There you go.
It's my favorite.
All right.
I will not share. I'll just give it and then take it back.
I mean, I haven't necessarily told any of you all this information. I could just be the,
That's true.
That's true.
hogging it all for myself. No, I actually, I do think I absolutely tell everybody about the food thing, but do neglect to accidentally tell everybody about the refusing things 3 times before.
Oh no.
Well,
We all bring food and we just accept
That's
things.
perfect.
Good.
So we do a debrief. You tell us one thing, forget the other.
it
I
happens.
can't remember exactly what you learned, Diana. The geology thing.
Yeah.
I'll bring a fox snare and a rabbit trap or whatever, and then but just as a backup, I'll buy like a beaded something special that you have to go to Cahokia to get.
Okay.
I'm bringing a full 8 hours of sleep.
Desmond don't care.
Yeah, I don't paperwork. I bring it bad, guys.
I'm bringing my tech support
Nice.
because clearly they're not sending reports. So something's broken. So I'm there to fix it.
Fair point.
That's what I am. I'm tech support.
Station 54 is about to be 86. Let's ride.
No, I'm tech support plus bodyguards.
Oh,
There you go.
see, I wasn't tracking. Now I'm tracking, but I'll stand by what I said.
Y'all are my personal bodyguards
Yeah.
for the IT work that I perform.
That's right. That's right.
There you go. There you go. So
And-
y'all are able to catch your Yutsu barge as y'all head out to there. Let me get over here. Yutsu barges float just above the city, picking up and dropping off passengers from designated rooftops. Yours is better appointed than most, having 2 levels with several fire pits for passengers to sit around. The other passengers are mostly traveling to visit family or business partners. Over here. And at the end of the line, you are the only remaining passengers. As you leave, a few people get on for the trip back towards Cahokia. You step out onto a bluff with roads heading in each direction. A small structure there protects from the wind, and a map shows the surrounding communities. Near the mound is a communications tower, helping to extend Dasu to the limits of the Free Lands. Now, the Free Lands is the country that you're in, and the Dasu is, it's sort of like the internet. It's what connects all of your communications and such.
Okay.
So you have traveled outside of Cahokia. It's been about 2 hours. And you are now at the edge of pretty much everything. And you are heading towards a town called Antiwa. And that is 2 days to the north on foot.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Cool.
So along your way, there are regularly spaced lockboxes that have food and water for any unprepared travelers. As you get further north, the food starts to change. The closer you are to Cahokia, the more it is like deer and turkey and bison and things like that. But as you go further and further north, it turns more into smoked salmon jerky and such.
Okay.
Ooh, I might audible my food then.
Hmm?
I might audible my food.
here.
I'm trying to picture what these boxes look like. Like, is it you open it in the front, or is it like a deli?
Well, what I would
situation?
imagine is like they look sort of like those bigger mailboxes where you just lift like the top lid and you've got everything like packaged in. It's in the
I love it.
oh gosh, what do you call it? The food savers.
Like
where they
vacuum
stuff up in your
packs?
outfit. Vacuum packed. That's the word.
Mm-hmm.
It's like all vacuum packed. There's whole fillets of salmon in there.
Num
Oh my
nums.
gosh.
Nice.
So I put the rest of my ham and cheese in there and grab some.
Make a slap.
Not
Saucy.
not vacuum packed at all. It's just,
Yeah.
No.
stick it.
It's just laying right
Stick
on
it in
top.
So,
Half bitten
Somebody's gonna
into.
love this.
so.
It's a treat.
Squirrel's gonna get this.
Hey.
I'll
Squirrel's
take
gotta
I'll
eat.
take the ham back out so it doesn't go rotten.
Yeah.
So let me get over here.
I don't even know if we have deli meats or cold cuts.
So you wouldn't actually have ham because pigs are not native.
Mhm.
I had to say that's what I was
To
wondering.
States.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was gonna ask.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're more likely carrying around like a deer and cheese sandwich.
Yeah.
Could be
Oh,
turkey.
so
Pretty
good.
turkey.
Could be deer ham. And so
Yeah.
it's like turkey bacon, but
Mhm.
Turkey bacon.
Turkey bacon.
Or bison. You know.
bison.
Bison.
Bring a
It's
true,
bison
there's still-
meatloaf
still-
that grandma made.
But there's
Are
a lot
there
of little
any,
structures.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. You're doing.
No,
the
go ahead.
description. I was just gonna ask if anything notable happens before we get to camp. and here
Not
you
really.
are.
It's pretty chill. There are a lot of little structures along your way to Antigua where you could camp indoors, or if you'd like, you can camp out under the stars. It is getting significantly colder than it usually is in Cahokia.
Mm-hmm.
I vote for stars.
Indoors. I
Vote
mean,
for
you're
stars.
welcome to camp outside. I think that's fine.
Oh, so we'll do an inside-outside thing. You'll be in the hut, and we'll be out like 50 feet away or whatever.
Yep.
Where's Kimmy camping?
Outside.
Oh,
Nice.
there we go. Yeah, you're able to have a very peaceful night outside. You see different constellations up here. Things are really cool looking.
I
Well,
put out my traps before dinner, just in
Kimi's-
case.
Kimi has nightmares, so it's not so peaceful for Kimi.
Oh yeah. Kimmy's got problems. You want to go ahead and read Kimmy's burden?
Oh, it's just that I have a burden, and it's my quirk is nightmares at a rank 2. Kimi does not regain spirit while sleeping.
Oh my god.
Yeah, in Coyote and Crow, we have this thing called gifts and burdens where you can select things that make your life easier, but coincidentally, you also have to select things that make your life a little bit harder, so you can do all sorts of things, and one of those is nightmares.
And what are the normal? Well, besides sleeping, what are the other ways one would regain spirit?
Spirit can also be regained through like short and long rests and through different ceremony practices. Spirit details your connection with obviously spirits, but also with like religious feelings and things like that with the creator.
Me and the creator are like this.
Yeah.
All right. As you get up, you have another beautiful day. You're able to make your way over to Antigua, and
Wait a
you
minute.
make it.
Wait, really quick.
Oh.
I'm sorry to keep slowing things down.
Yeah, you're good.
Well, if Kimmy's nightmares are real loud, I will look after her. And if she wakes up, I'll comfort her
Oh,
with the dream situation. I'm good at those sort of things. And then
See,
I check
y'all
my
are-
traps in the morning.
you caught a rabbit.
Sick.
Cool.
Buddy for breakfast. Yes.
Totally
Yep.
righteous, brah.
There's tools in the hut that you're able to use to skin the rabbit and get it prepared for breakfast. You've caught me at the end of the day when my ADHD meds have worn off, so it wants to go 28 miles an hour.
Yes.
We'll distract you out of that.
Hell yeah. So actually I don't want to prepare the rabbit. I
Okay.
want to save
Keep
it
for later.
for the village, so we'll prepare something else. But I
Oh.
will mention to Kimmy that your nightmares seemed pretty bad last night.
Being out out of my home tends to make them worse.
Hmm,
I'm outside my comfort zone,
it's tough.
literally.
I mean,
Literally, yeah.
we'll go ahead and dress that rabbit. Like we aren't just gonna let the meat go.
I'll pass an extra pair of sunglasses to Kimmy. Here, these help me. They might help you.
Kimmy accepts just because it's super bright.
She
And
puts them on.
she's
She looks
tired.
real cool.
She's super tired, and she's like, "Fine, I accept this."
Cool. Desba out.
Peace.
Wait, do you have to? I've never hunted. You have to dress the animal right away.
Yeah, you have to dress the
Oh,
animal
okay.
pretty much
Absolutely.
immediately.
So we do that.
Yeah, especially depending on how it's been killed, but yes, you want to dress the
Mhm.
animal right away. Sorry, I am a closet animal murderer growing up. And so
It
See, when you
happens.
put it that way, instead of just like, oh yeah, I did hunting growing up, that sounds like
it sounds way worse.
yeah,
It
it sounds
does.
a little ominous.
Well,
And
there's a
so-
new journey that Tony has gone through to become who he is today.
It's true. No, it's actually I thoroughly enjoy hunting, but it's not
Mhm.
something that I do as an adult a whole lot.
Mhm.
It's fair. There is sport and skill involved. It's fair.
Ritual and ritual.
Yeah, as you walk this second day, you're able to actually reach Antigua, which is the city between Cahokia and Sakitawak. As the sun begins to sort of go down, you see the town ahead, a couple dozen structures surrounded by farms carved out of hard soil. As a Sieta, your first responsibility is to present yourself to the local leaders. Sieta teams are few and are expected to offer their services so long as it does not conflict with the council's orders.
Mhm, mhm,
Okay.
mhm, mhm, mhm. So this would be the village elders. Is that correct?
Is this is the
Yes.
village that's halfway there though? This is not the village.
This
that's
is the
going
halfway there. Yeah, this isn't
Okay.
Sakitawak. You're not there yet. You're in the midpoint.
Okay.
But that would still
And-
be the village elders.
And they're within the Cahokian sphere of influence, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're
We
still
don't have
within
to learn
Cahokia in
new.
there. Yeah.
Sure.
Heard.
So I'm like, everybody be cool, right? These guys are
Okay,
like,
let's offer to be nice, but not too nice. We don't want to be here for long.
right.
Give them
Which I
a
got
rabbit.
10
Right,
glasses.
So the village elder in Antigua is Sike. And as you present yourselves to him, he invites you to come and have dinner with his family. He has several children. It's very loud. They're all running around. There's some, it's kids.
Mhm.
I would like to play with the
Yay.
kids.
Okay.
Cool.
I will
Horsey.
present the rabbit to the family or whatever if they want to use it.
All right. CK, he accepts your rabbit. He says, "Thank you. I'll give this to my wife to add to the pot."
Cool.
She takes that. She's able to start butchering it and get it added to your dinner. You have a very nice, pleasant meal. It's warm, good food, good conversation. And afterwards, he sort of shoos away his family so that all of you can speak privately.
Okay.
He says, "I didn't want to worry my children. I'm glad that you're here, and I hope you can look into something for us. Recently, I've been receiving reports of a small group traveling north. Ordinarily, this wouldn't be a concern, but they move like a military unit, and they aren't from the free lands. Hunters who came across one of their abandoned camps said that they saw signs of a portable communication station, which they'd only need if they wanted to stay off of our network." He takes a data pad from a shelf and he pulls up a blurry image of 4 people moving single file up a hill. They evaded a group of volunteers who went out to look for them and seemed to be heading north. I don't want to be the man who ignored the signs of a possible invasion. I was going to send a request for Sieta team tomorrow morning, but then you arrived.
I mean, where are we headed north, or what direction are we headed?
You are headed north to
Okay.
Sakitawak.
So
Okay.
we're trying not to start a war.
Mhm.
So I'm not sure how to handle this particular. I mean, should we just waste them? Should we take them hostage?
I hand him a
Perhaps.
very amateur beating project that that Jai has been working on the way here that says war only when necessary on it. He can wrap around the handle of his war club, and so
I bring up like a map of some sort on our
Mhm.
computer
Yeah,
device.
on your Anisi.
On our Nisi, that's the word.
Yep.
And I ask the elder to be a little more specific about where they noticed the tracks of the people where they were found.
Yeah, he sort of hunches over and he's able to point out it's not terribly far north of the town, but it looks like it's heading sort of your way. So like it'd be they look to be heading along the same way that you are from Antiwa out to Sakitawak.
Okay.
And this was yesterday.
Yep, they were first sighted the day before, and they sent the volunteers out yesterday, and they avoided the volunteers.
All right. Well, we'll be sure to follow the same path on our way to station
54.
54.
Yeah.
Why can I not keep that number in my head?
86.
But as you're looking at this image, you can actually go ahead if you'd like, and you can roll me either a knowledge check or a tracking check to see if you can get some more information.
Enhance.
Tracking, what's up? I'm good
Let's
at
do
that.
tracking. Well, my knowledge and my tracking are the same, so I'll do tracking just for giggles.
Giggle while you track.
I leave. I begin the hunt.
I got no successes on the track.
You can tell there are 4 people in that picture.
Wow.
Are you passing this picture around, or are you?
I'm sharing this information with those that are paying attention to me.
On our own
Yeah.
personal DASU through our Anisis. Yes, we're all connected at the grid.
I'm airdropping that to you.
Exactly.
And I'm like a foot away from Kimmy looking over her shoulder. And I'm like,
Aten,
yeah,
as you're
yep.
looking at
4
this-
successes. Yep.
Yeah, you see that there are 4 people in the picture, but you also see that their tracks are partially covered, which seems to indicate that at least one of them has counterintelligence information, counterintelligence training.
Okay.
Cool.
So we can see therefore. I wonder if they're walking in each other's tracks to try to avoid detection.
Interesting.
Hmm.
Yeah, if it was all a hunting party, they'd all be doing that. But just the one guy. That's. I wonder if I should go on ahead.
No. No.
Yes.
No.
That one person worries me.
Nope.
Kimmy, do you want to go ahead and roll me a knowledge check on this?
Yes.
See if you can get a little bit more information on that.
We can buddy system. I'll go with Aten.
Oh, I got 2 successes.
2 successes. Okay.
Yes.
Looking at it, you can tell that it does look like these are members of a separate military.
Okay. All right. Yeah. It looks like these are definitely military. Not ours, but this is military. They've got specific training. They know what they're doing.
They might be better than us.
Did you see the simulation 3 days ago? Let me just. Do you want me to bring it up? I'll bring it up the video. I keep videos.
Bring up the
good.
playback.
You did good, but
Is that
military
what you
usually
were up
use
late
guns.
doing last night?
I stream. I stream our simulation.
Shout out to Despa fans.
Yeah.
That's right.
Those are supposed to be classified. We're not supposed to share those with the public.
And that's why I have 10,000 followers. So.
Am I gonna have to write a report on you?
I have
Well, you're
a
in these
blog.
too, so you're
Is
an
that
accomplice.
Don't
violate?
don't make me team report. Don't make me team report on this.
Go ahead. 10,000 followers. They'll bail me out. They love
Our,
me, don't you? We're live right now.
So is there a separate military from the Sieta?
So within the Freelands, y'all are pretty much like the top tier of anything. You are the military.
Okay.
Okay.
So if this is not your military, this is somebody else, some other
Covert.
country's
No,
military.
I just wanted to make sure this wasn't like we are police and they are military. We are
No.
military who also are kind of policey protectory
Yeah.
people also
This is a
too.
rival
And this
group.
is the other. Yes. Okay. Cool.
Yeah,
Okay.
this is somebody else.
But no obvious insignia that we're like, oh, those are those Houston Astros or whatever.
Not that Kimmy was able to check. If anybody else wants to try a knowledge check, you can see.
I'll roll my knowledge check because I've got it queued up.
Thank you, Jaya, for being a team player.
I've got one.
You got one success. Yeah, they look military.
I appreciate the enthusiasm.
They are definitely military, and I can tell by the way they're standing.
I needed the emotional support from Jaya in this moment.
I'm still streaming.
We've we've already decided we're going to go check these guys out on the way north. So
Yeah. So with that, do you want to go ahead and track directly for them as you head to Sakitawak in the morning, or do you want to head to Sakitawak and just kind of keep an eye out for them?
Here's my proposal. We stay well back from them, behind their track, because Antiwa wants us to learn more about them. So that should be our first focus, is just to find out where they went and how they got there.
I think following them direct. Yes, I think staying back, but I think following them directly, not kind of wandering around and seeing if we stumble across them, would 100% be Jaya's jam.
Yeah.
And so
that seemed wise. And if from what I've gathered about the station is true, they might be onto it as well.
Okay. So go ahead and give me this. How about all of you give me your tracking checks to follow them?
Okay.
Okay. And I'm going to be about 100 feet ahead. And if I get any sense of a living person in front,
it's just wide open plain.
Well, I can go invisible like at the
No, I know.
That's true. You do have
that.
that ability.
We're camouflaged in the tundra, the snow. What is the space
What
that we're in?
Snowy plains. What is our land?
If we
state?
inverted
Sort of a snowy plains.
if we
It's
inverted-
getting
if
colder
we-
and snowier as you get up there.
if we inverted a map of the U.S., where would we be at right now on it?
Nebraska? Like a
That's
Nebraska,
a
maybe?
good question.
That's what I was at. It's like, what's flat but can snow? Kansas.
You're sort of up towards, I've been saying north. You're technically heading south. You're sort of up towards the edges of like where Canada would be about now.
Okay.
Oh,
So you're
super cool.
Yeah, you're about near Nebraska and all that. But
Cool.
you got to remember, like, because of the weather and how everything shifted, it's a lot colder the further south you are.
Oh,
We're in the
wow.
Bahamas, baby. In comparison.
Hey, that's how it was for Texas like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
No,
yeah, that was
thank
rough.
you.
Sad.
No, thank you.
Yeah, I'm glad you survived the
It was 44 degrees in my house.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
That's my tracking.
So, Desmond, you've got a critical success in
Yeah,
there, so
that's
you
an
can.
additional
Yep.
2d12s. Oh, bless you. Roll 20.
It's almost like
Gameplay question.
it's almost
Yeah.
like you like tracking.
How are you determining that they have a critical success?
Oh, I'm looking when you get really 12, that's a critical success.
Oh, yeah, when you get a 12. Okay, sure. Duh. Thank you.
Sort of like getting a nat 20, only here it's a nat 12.
It's 100% how I hoped my character would do, which is I failed all of them.
That makes
Congrats.
complete sense. Just haven't experienced that yet. Okay, cool.
Yeah, Diana, whenever you roll a 12, for each 12 that you roll, you'll roll an additional 2 dice, additional 2d12.
I understood that part. I didn't. It was the whole 12. I was like, how do we get to this magical extra roll? It hasn't happened for me.
Only
yet, so,
only
okay.
only
Cool.
Jeremy gets to do them.
True.
I
And just so
quit.
you know,
I quit.
so everybody else knows, you can also spend a point of mind to take one of your 11s and turn it into a 12.
Oh, I did forget about that.
Yep.
If I rolled an 11
Not worth
total,
it yet.
I'm just kidding.
I mean,
not
you can
worth
do
it
it with any of them except for a 1.
Mm-hmm.
But most people tend to use them to turn 11s into 12s.
Fair. Fair. It's not worth it yet.
I
Alright.
smell them on the air.
I enjoy failing. I really do.
Yeah.
Give me the failure. I'll make it hurt.
Roll 20 says I can't fail, so I took all the erasers off my pencils.
So as you were following this unit, I have to be careful how I say this because you haven't learned some of this information. So as you're following that unit for a day, you're able to 100% tell that they are definitely heading not just to Sakitawak, they're heading to Station 54.
Okay.
Same path.
Going where we're going.
These
Let
guys,
me double check something.
I'm certain now that these guys are a unit. I would say they're an absolute unit.
I was waiting for the joke. Thank you.
This has been a bit by Tony Vicinda. Trademarked by Beard and Oil Company.
I want +1exp.com.
Yeah.
Min-max your way through your day with our stat enhancing beard bombs. I did once do probably a 15-minute bit just to get to making a stool sample joke, and the payoff was 100% there.
All 15 minutes of wait.
So
I'm proud of you. Like, I'm embarrassed for you, but also I'm proud of you.
You shouldn't be. It was great.
That's my sweet spot.
So
Embarrassed to get proud.
So Shay, you mentioned using mind to roll better.
Mhm.
When you use focus, is it just one of your dice, or can you do it with more than one die?
You can do it just one at a time.
Okay.
So let me get over here and double check some information based on what I just rolled. All right, so you are able to follow this team undetected, and they do lead you right up to the ridge that leads towards Station 54. So at this point, you know where they're going, and you can make your way to Sakita Walk knowing what they're doing. And Tony, if you'd like, we can take that 5-minute break. We're about partway
perfect.
through.
Sounds good. We're gonna take a 5-minute break here on +1exp. We'll be right back in just 1 second. If you're watching at home and you haven't hydrated recently, got up, stretched, moved around, gone to the restroom, I mean, hopefully you're regular, but maybe not. I don't want to get, we don't have to get into it. But if you need help, just whisper me on Twitch or whatever. I'm not a doctor, but I'm always pretty happy to talk about poop. But we're going to be back in 5 minutes. So let's actually just say at actually maybe not quite 5 minutes. Let's say at 40 or 20 till the hour. We'll be back. We'll be ready to go, and we'll be going to be playing some more Coyote and Crow then also too.
Double thumbs.
And we are back live on Plus One EXP's Roll for Content actual play channel. We are playing Coyote and Crow tonight. Hello, Ular Warlord. We are back. Don't worry. I know that you got here just in time for a break, but it's okay. We've still got plenty of play in front of us. We are playing Coyote and Crow, which is a Native American near future punk alternate history RPG that's live on Kickstarter right now. I'm going to pop the link into the chat in just 1 second if you are watching. Yeah, it wouldn't be hard to catch up right now because we are tracking on foot. You did miss some classic Tony Vicinda bits. Real quick before we get started, though, really important questions. First of all, if you don't know what Girl Scout Bakery you get Girl Scout cookies from, you should find out because there are different Girl Scout cookies depending on what part of the country you live in. If you don't know this information, it's important stuff. But that said, tagalongs or Samoas, which box should I open?
Tagalong.
Okay, what did you eat for dinner?
Samoa.
I just had 2 pieces of asparagus upstairs, but I had a curry for dinner.
Sorry. Ooh, Samoas.
Samoas?
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you saying that because it
Samoas.
sounds like samosa?
No.
Okay.
No, the coconut.
That's
It
the
has
coconut.
a tropical feel.
It's the
I mean,
coconut with the
I did
curry.
mix
It's gonna
I did
go
mix
together
coconut
better.
milk into my curry spices, so that like I get you. All right, that's the important stuff taken care of.
Those are the 2 best cookies, though.
It looks like Popish Plot. We've got a bunch of people jumping in right after the break. If you have not checked out Coyote and Crow yet, you absolutely should. I backed in the first 48 hours. We'll talk about this at the end, but I will say this campaign, it doesn't help any of you right now because it's too late. But this campaign had one of the best back it in the first 48 hours incentives I have ever seen in a campaign ever. And it was crazy. It's crazy how successful this campaign's been. We're going to talk to Shay and Connor about that a little bit later after we finish playing. But let's dive back into the game.
All right, so when we left off, y'all had arrived at Sakitawak and you had just finished tracking after those scouts. So let me get over here.
Apparently the link that I have set
day?
isn't working right now. Hold on. You guys should totally check out Frame, but I'll fix that Kickstarter link in just 1 second. Frame's a great
What
thing.
time of day are we showing up at Sakitawak or Sakitawak?
Sakitawak, let me double check. Looks like it's just about in the mid-afternoon. Now, I will say this, as you were looking at your NECs, as you were tracking and moving forward, you did notice the signal was kind of slowly starting to fade from the Dasu. So if you've ever seen that moment when you're really driving out in rural America and your phone just fades and you're like left in 3G mode here in the 2020s, yeah, it's that moment.
Let's back.
Okay.
I want to say to Kimmy, let's back up a bit, back to where you have signal. Can you try to hack and see where their local network is pinging from? These military guys. You're good at hacking, right?
I am. I can certainly try.
Like maybe it's outputting some transmission that we can pick up on.
Yeah, Kimmy, I'm going to say that's a good idea. I'm going to say that difficulty is going to be a 9.
Okay. I did not get 9. Oh, but I got a crit.
There you go. So you got 1 success, and then you can roll 2 more your d12s.
Okay, hold on. So all together, I got 6 successes, and so then I can do 2 more.
Yep.
And that got me 1 more success.
So you got 7 successes, which is really good.
Okay.
So you are able to, using your knowledge of computers and hacking and how systems and networks control each other, you're able to kind of bounce from the Dasu into their system just for the briefest of moment to get yourself a little bit more information.
Okay.
And from that, you're able to see that these are definitely specialists with field training. These are Salish scouts.
Salish.
They are from the Salish nation.
Just up near the Salish Sea.
I have no idea.
Today, and, I mean, today's day and age, which is what most people call the Puget Sound, but is not actually.
Actually,
the
yeah.
entire body of
So
water.
yeah, they would be up near the Puget Sound up in the Pacific Northwest.
There you go.
Yeah, it's a whole big language group, bunch
Yeah.
of different
Yep.
nations
Mhm.
speaking similar languages.
That's cool.
I don't know if your landscape has changed
I actually think the map that they did for this was the coolest and smartest thing that I have ever seen. Just a real world alternate thing worked into an
It's a great
RPG.
map.
It was just super satisfying because it literally is the U.S. inverted. Like it's what we would normally think of as being upside down, but is also that's a nonsensical statement on a map. And so, and the way that they built out the nations and for the setting was it's just super fun. Like I really enjoyed it.
All right, it looks all right, y'all. It looks like we're dealing with some Salish scouts.
What's their relationship like between?
So
and the
everybody's
Salish.
sort of in like a peaceful mode right now because of the terrible winters that you've had for such a long time. Everybody's kind of got treaties with each other, but
Mhm.
you do know that this is, if they're not here with permission, this is a huge breach of etiquette.
Okay.
But you also know that the closer you get to Sakitawak, again, the council reminded you, it is not under the Freeland's control. They're their own independent nation, but they are definitely heading towards a Freeland station.
Okay.
Okay.
They crossed our entire country to get here, right? Like from Salish.
They would have come. Yeah, they would have come over theoretically.
Just a massive expedition. I'm kind of impressed by these folks.
It's no small feat. So whatever's at that station has to be very important.
It's a weather station. Just climate stuff.
So what
It's
did
not-
geologists do?
Thermometers.
That's not what
Wind
my
vanes.
hacking, my research found me. It's not just climate research.
Yeah, didn't you say something about geology? What did geologists do?
They study rocks, but like special, like important rocks, gems.
Crystals, geothermal energy. I took a class on this once. I can't remember any of it.
Yes, and
Is this
also-
a Desma answer or is this a Jeremy answer?
It's called bleed, so both. Rocks for jocks, everyone.
There you go.
Do atomic, like, do we understand radioactivity and all that stuff?
Yeah, there's an understanding about that.
Okay. So maybe there's something radioactive or some kind of alien meteorite.
Aliens, I'll 10. Really?
You guys, you
I'm-
always say aliens right away.
I mean, maybe they just found some really valuable gemstones or something.
But
I
are
mean,
gemstones worth sending soldiers all the
I
way
don't know.
across the?
there could be a diamond mine under here for all we know. I
I
mean, we
don't
use
know. That
we
doesn't
use a
seem
lot of that.
likely.
We use a lot of that crap in our technology.
Gold? Maybe they found gold.
Well, diamonds, we make drill bits. We cut glass.
Yep.
We ice up our outfits.
Ice up. It's like, what do we ice up with diamonds?
Are you like you're very interested in the bedazzling nature?
We are making our are we making our way towards the village
Yeah.
elders?
Village ahead is laid out in a series of concentric rings set out in an open, flat area. The solar and wind generators seem to be kept in good repair, and robot harvesters are working the fields to the east. You don't see any Yutsu barges or sunwings, but that's not unusual for communities this far from large-scale printing facilities. As you approach, it is just before sunset, and someone in the town must have spotted you. A young boy approaches, and when he reaches you, he introduces himself. He says, "Hi, my name's Kaya. I'm here to take you to the elders."
Thank you,
Thank
Kaya.
you, Kaya.
Here's some sunglasses.
Oh, he takes them, he puts them on. He looks like the coolest 14-year-old you've ever seen.
As intended.
Thank you, Kaya. Do you know who we are?
Yeah, you're the Cahokia and Sieta team.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, we figured you'd be on the way.
Yeah. We picked up a side quest on our way here, so
Nope.
that might.
No,
I
no.
totally elbow armbar Aten.
He meant we got sidetracked on the way here. We're so sorry.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
They were
Well,
concerned about some animals. We checked it out. They're good.
Yeah, that's why we're a little bit late in case the elders are annoyed.
Yeah, we'll hunt them later.
Yeah, let me go ahead and take you out here. So he brings you to a large home just off the center of town. In the home, two women stand over a table with blueprints and maps laid out in front of them, and a third woman sits on a small table, and she seems to be absorbed in a VR session. So as you all enter in, Kaya says, "Hi, I brought the Sieta team." And the two women at the table look up and they sort of exchange a look. They look over at you and they sort of nod and gesture for each of you to sit into a chair.
Sit.
Okay. And the oldest woman sort of steps up. She says, "We've been expecting you. You should know that your council doesn't hold much sway here. But the crew of the station were good people and will help if we can."
You say were?
Yes, we haven't seen them for 3 weeks.
But you don't you don't know that they're like you didn't see like bodies.
No, they just haven't been out here for a while.
Has anyone else been out here in a while? Do you get a lot of traffic?
No, we haven't really seen anybody. It's typically just them. The last time we saw them, Liwanu had some tea with me. And I was telling her that we weren't going to be doing any hunting to the north for... and she sort of stops, and one of the other women looks at her and gives her a bit of a glare. She's like, "Well, we've stopped hunting to the north because many of the villagers are having bad dreams about that area. There is an evil there, even if some of us aren't taking that very seriously."
What kind of evil?
It's been causing terrible dreams, but that's about all we have. The woman on the couch, they tap her on the shoulder and she looks up, takes off her VR headset, and she's like, "Oh, we've been receiving dreams of a shadowy figure consuming women in the village."
It's my turn to Jake Peralta. Cool.
Yeah.
I'm not a dream expert, so I'm having trouble how you would interpret that one.
Kimi gets really interested in her Anisi.
Kimi doesn't want to be part of this conversation.
Kimi, do you know what that might stand for?
A 10.
What?
Awkward.
Bad dreams and women being taken. No, thank you.
Well, as long as your people are being safe, but back to the matter at hand of Station 54.
Mm-hmm.
You haven't had any reports come in from them in the last 3 weeks, and you only saw fit to call us in the last 5 days.
I'll tap on Desba and I'll be like, news takes as much time as it takes, Desba.
You should know we're not as connected here as you are in Cahokia. So, but also what happens between your scientists at your station and what happens between your Council of 12, that is your business. The city, this village is ours.
Of course.
Of course. We just want to help out with Station 54.
Mm-hmm.
Point of information. Did we detect any sign of those soldiers coming into town?
Not into town.
Okay.
It looked like they were heading directly.
They went
for
straight
the
up.
station.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was just trying to catch if this lady might be lying to us.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So there's something they don't want to tell us.
Think
All
of
right.
the nightmares, evil spirits.
And what time?
Someone's
And what time of
superstitious.
day is it?
This is now evening.
So, Jai is kind of curious. So you don't know anything else about this evil or these? When did the nightmares start?
Just about 6 weeks ago. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me reread that because I read something else. Just about 3 weeks ago. So about the same time that they lost connection with the scientists.
It's a long time of nightmares.
And y'all didn't send anybody out to? I mean, I know it's not your responsibility, but did y'all send anybody out to the outpost?
No, because there's an evil out there.
Oh,
Fair.
so the
Fair.
outpost is the direction that the evil is. That yeah.
Yep.
That tracks.
Understood.
I wonder, would it be possible for us to have like a nighttime gathering with the villagers and, share stories and food and stuff like that? Maybe there's somebody here who knows a little bit more than.
The three of them will sort of exchange a look, and they're like, "We're not really having any nighttime ceremonies at this time because of what's happening."
Okay.
We did bring some food from home as gifts for y'all, and I'll bring whatever packable long haul takeable thing that we vacuum pack brought, and a deer ham. What?
Deer ham.
Okay. So now what this does, if you'd like to try and get some more information from the council, you can go ahead and you can roll a charm check, and you can upgrade any of your dice to a critical with this offering of food.
Yeah, we've got some different variations of what we agreed we're going to bring. Because none of us were
it
entirely
feels
sure.
awkward to use gift giving to improve. Like, I don't know. I
Feels
feel
totally
bad
normal to
about-
me.
I feel like we should just have open hearts and give without.
My heart's open.
My heart's
So
critical dice.
This is like this is like modern day how we coerce people.
so you said for charm specifically?
Yep.
Well, I'm gonna roll it.
So one
I got is it normal what you calls it?
Yeah, it's 7.
Okay. So I got a success, and you said I can turn one of them. What can I do with the fact that we brought food?
Yep, you can choose one of those that 6 or that 3 that you've rolled.
Yeah.
And you can turn that into automatically a 12 and go ahead and give yourself two more dice to roll.
I'm gonna rip that 2 into a 12.
So I'm gonna use focus to increase one of my 5s to a 7.
Did they keep on popping off?
Mm-hmm.
They do not keep on popping
Okay.
off,
Okay.
but that will count as 2 successes.
Would that be 3 successes? I had the 9 originally, right? And then one of them got turned into
Right.
a 12, and that would be a second
Yep,
one.
so that'll be 3
3
successes.
successes. Okay.
And I'm rocking 2 successes minus 1, so 1 success.
All right. So with
And
that,
I have
the women
3.
sort of warm up to you, and they do reveal that their names are Hurit, Ochantan, and Taki. And let me scroll to see what you have gained. They become a little bit more talkative as they're sharing this food with you. And one thing that they mention is that the scientists used to regularly come into the town for supplies. They would send reports to Cahokia via message drone. They would actually talk with some of the people around. You also learn that all of the women in the village are having these nightmares of this shadowy creature consuming women.
Cool. Are there any details I can pull about the shadowy creature that's consuming women? Because that's really my character's deeply into that.
Let me see.
Not that women getting consumed by shadow creatures. The knowing what is
Like
happening.
Shadowy figures.
Right.
Let's see.
What additional information can you tell me about the figure cloaked in shadow? Shaped. Not blobbed.
Here we are. This seems to be related to a legend of a creature called Nunyunui. He is known as the Man with the Cane. And you know that this is a legend around this region, and that he is supposed to be trapped within a stone tomb.
And I almost asked if I could roll folklore before we left, and I didn't. He's supposed to be trapped within a tomb.
A stone tomb. Yep.
A stone tomb. Can I roll folklore to know how he got trapped in that
Absolutely,
tomb
yeah.
originally? All right, cool.
Geology. Stone tomb. Half-Life 3 confirmed.
If Tony does well on this, can we say it just kicked off into a whole Beowulf style like storytelling hour?
So
Sure.
I I have a specialization in folklore specifically, but that just means when talking about folklore stuff, I'm going to roll those numbers instead of normal knowledge, correct? That's how that works? Okay, just making sure.
Numbers.
One of those popped off.
There
So
you go.
that's
Go ahead
2
and roll me
successes
another
at
two.
least.
Roll again. Roll again.
No, let's do 2. Let's say, do I want to start spending points now? But 2. I should macro some of this stuff. Man, are you sure
There
they
you
don't? You sure they don't keep on going? That's 3 successes.
So what you're able to determine is this. Nunyanui, again, he is a creature who's been trapped in a stone tomb. He was placed there to prevent his evil from infecting local surroundings. You do know that he can only be killed with the blood of a woman. And anytime you kill him, it's not a permanent thing. He will regenerate and come back, and he will come back angrier. So the best thing to do is to trap him within his stone tomb again.
And we just do that by hitting him with the blood of a woman repeatedly. And
you'd be able to find that out if you confront Nunyanui, which, you might.
maybe we will, maybe we won't. Who knows?
Maybe. Yeah, he might show up.
Okay, I guess, I'm trying to figure out, so based on the legend, when it's like you can only be harmed by the blood of a woman, was that like somebody put the blood of a woman on a war club, he drank the blood of a woman? Like, I'm trying to figure out, and what, do I have any...
How he got into the tomb itself?
No, I mean, more so, that seems like a good thing to know, but more so like, okay, if there's this evil and everybody's having these dreams and people have disappeared and it's all in the same area, I do think that Jaya's mind is like, okay, blood of a woman, how do I hit this thing with the blood of a woman if we have to face this thing?
I'm thinking Carrie style.
Right.
Just drop it. From a
Carrie
tree.
style, blood on an arrowhead, something like that. You could find that out. But it seems like to do more research to get more information on that, you might have to go up to Station 54 and
Okay.
dig around a little.
So there's
Hey.
nothing
Here we
from the
go.
story specifically that's like,
No.
and then the warrior put the blood of a woman on their spear and stabbed him.
Every time you say blood of a woman,
It's awkward to say. I don't know. Like, do we need to shorthand that? Do we need to go ahead and do we need to veil that phrase and just figure out a
Just say
good...
women's blood.
It's just not great.
I'm
It's not fabulous.
I'm not the one in
No.
charge of the story. I'm a victim.
I know it's not your fault.
Keep
You
doing.
just keep saying it. I think you're enjoying saying that over and over again.
Switch says we need the BOW to take down the demon. Got it.
Yeah, it's called
There
the bow.
Wow.
Wow.
Not the bow,
Uh,
the bow.
Question though, is
Mhm.
this lore that would be known throughout the region or just specific to this area?
That is specific to this region.
Okay.
So
Cool.
I'm just
I wanna,
I'm just a real
ask one
I'm
of
just
the
a real
elders.
nerd.
What was that, Tony?
I said my character's just a real nerd in that way. So
there you go.
they're all about that.
Fair. Fair.
I'll ask.
All about that lore.
Is it Hurit?
Alright.
Hurit? I'll say. You said you sometimes get message drones. Do those go to one person, or do you have like a post office? Does everybody get one? How's that work?
When the message drones arrive from other large cities, we tend to find the messages that are addressed to specific people and just distribute them out to them. The scientists at Station 54 would send their message drones directly from their station to Cahokia and back.
Oh, so it wouldn't like stop here and hang out for a minute.
That's correct.
Solves that problem.
Are you eating your bison meatloaf?
Are we not on dinner? What?
Um,
The soup is delicious.
Oh, I
So-
gift the beaded object to the elders.
Yeah, they'll accept that.
Wait, don't they refuse 3 times?
that's just for us, not for them.
Yeah.
We're supposed to refuse.
Like none of you, like I'm not sitting down. You guys all sit down like suckers, and I'm still standing up.
But as your conversation sort of dwindles towards it, Taki will stand up and she's like, well, we have asked Kaya's mother to give you beds for the night. So he will take you to his home and see to it that you're fed and bedded and all that.
Oh no, we couldn't impose.
And Kaya will come over and he's like, no, it's okay. This is exciting.
Oh no, that would be too much.
No, you absolutely should. It's fine. We have so much extra room.
No. Oh sure. No.
We're used to camping outside, but I mean, you're pushing so hard. I guess we should accept.
Yeah, we wouldn't want you to be cold.
Okay.
Only if you're
Sweet.
sure that we aren't imposing on your household.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
All right.
We
And
accept
Kaya will lead you over, here to a house near the edge of the village. And he the whole time you're talking, he's just so excited. He hasn't had his Adenete yet, the way y'all have. So your little special abilities, he has not done that yet, but he's super excited. He thinks he's gonna get like the path of the buffalo, and he's gonna be so strong. He's gonna be able to punch people, 50 feet in the air, things like that. He's a 14-year-old.
Path of the Buffalo comes to those who are vigorous, determined, strong, like yours truly. I show him the tattoo I have.
Of the buffalo.
Yeah,
Cool.
absolutely.
He goes, hell yeah.
It's a desert.
Do
It's
you
a
want me to
desert
give you
flower.
one?
Yeah.
I whip up my hood on my cloak, and then I snap my fingers, and I go, Path of the Fox, and I kind of waver out, sort of start to disappear. And then I'm like, snap the threads, like all cool.
But,
So as we get towards the thing, I do have a question.
Uh-huh.
I think Jai would be inclined to do one of two things as we are kind of bunking in for the night. And that would be, and I don't know how this works at all other than the very little bit that I furiously read just a second ago to make sure that I wasn't doing it entirely wrong. A ceremony to do one of two things, either to know about what, now I can't think of Diana's character's name. Kimi's,
Kimi.
yeah, to either to see what Kimi is dreaming while she sleeps, or to protect us from bad dreams. Like either of those two things, Jaya would be totally excited to do a ceremony to have happen, if that's the way
Yeah.
that works.
So if you'd like, so let me go ahead and do this real quick, and let me get y'all into this proper scene.
Yeah.
And then we can set that up for you. So Kaya, he opens the door to a longhouse, and you can smell a nice deer and root vegetable stew cooking on a stovetop. Coming out from the kitchen is Cheppy, that is Kaya's mother. She turns and nods, and she puts the ladle back into the stew and wipes her hands on her apron. She's like, oh, the elders told me to expect you. I wasn't sure if you'd eaten, so I kept it warm. She gestures towards a long bench near the door, and she says, you can go ahead and you can keep your bags here.
No, I'm totally okay. I'll
We were-
keep it on me.
We refused 3 times.
Yeah.
She seems a little bit confused because you've already accepted to do this. She's sort of like, no, you can definitely put your bags and things on that bench. That's what it's there
Oh.
for.
Thank you so much. This was really heavy.
And as you're setting things down, you see that there's a small memorial near the door for a fallen family member. And you're able to see that it looks like there's a lot of room available here. It's a little bit unusual for Cheppy and Kaya, to just the two of them to be in this size of a house on their own.
Does the memorial have any sort of augmented reality information or anything in our nieces?
Well, as you get close to it, you're able to see that it's got a picture of sort of a middle-aged, handsome man, and it looks like he's doing some computer work nearby. And as Cheppy sees that you're noticing it, she's like, "Oh, that's my husband. He died recently of a heart attack."
Oh, it's tough.
Yep.
Yeah, I leave a
Recently,
gift.
you say.
Yeah,
Oh,
is there a certain type of behavior that would be customary here in this type of
Oh
situation?
yeah, y'all can leave like a small gift or something, or say like a small little prayer for his spirit.
Okay.
sunglasses.
You
Do
leave
you
a pair
just
of
have an
sunglasses?
endless supply of sunglasses
50,
in your
50,
pack?
50 things of sunglasses.
Oh, these ones are 3D.
Yeah. Do you not see the satchel that I've had on the sunglasses?
So yeah, I pray, and when it's appropriate, at some point in the evening, I ask her how more details. I don't want to just blurt it out, but
Yeah, when you're able to speak with her quietly, she does mention her husband died just about 6 weeks ago.
oh,
So
wow.
it's been a while.
It's been a while.
Is that the last we heard from Station
It was
54?
3 weeks
Oh,
ago.
yeah.
No,
3 weeks
that was
ago.
3 weeks ago.
3 weeks ago. Okay.
But she's able to give you a nice meal, and she leads you to a room that has some mattresses laid out so that all of you can sleep comfortably. And then you wanted to do a little ceremony to protect your teammates from these nightmares, correct?
Yeah, that seems to be, I think, a good choice. At least, I would say the two of us who, I guess I can't protect myself. I guess that's because I think that's how ceremonies work. So really, for Kimi, because I think everybody else is because it's
I'm glad you said something. I was going to ask because Aten is, I believe, non-binary, and so I guess I'll find out how that interacts with only women get the nightmare. So if you want to lay it on me, just to be safe.
I have a protector motivation. I would like to couple in on the ceremony and just help with that, protect some people.
Yeah.
Maybe Jaya, since she cannot protect herself.
Yeah. So anybody who has ceremony, if you want to go ahead and roll that check, so that is a trained skill.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
there are
shoot.
certain skills that have like you have to know something about them or have some way to access them, right?
Never mind.
So it looks like Desmond doesn't have it.
Yeah.
Kimi doesn't have it. Does Jaya have it?
Oh, Jaya, it's like Jaya's best
Jaya's
thing.
got it. Does Austin have it?
So,
No.
Oh, okay. So this
We're all
so
just
Jaya's
Jaya on her own.
staring at
That's our
Jaya
only
while-
hope here.
yeah, I mean it's Jaya's. It's what Jaya is absolutely the no stuff about folklore, do ceremonies, heal people character.
What is Jaya's archetype?
Jaya's archetype is healer.
Okay.
Yeah. I was pretty sure. I just wanted to double check. And I got it's 8 for these, correct? This is for ceremonies.
I'm actually going to lower this one to 6.
Oh, the 6. Okay, well that's even better then. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 successes.
Okay. So, Jaya, over here, Jaya, you're able to, burn some incense and get a good feeling for the area, and you feel that you are able to successfully protect your teammates from any sort of terrible dreams that they would be having.
Yeah. I'm actually really kind of interested, given the fact that Kimi normally has nightmares anyways, how this actually plays out. But we'll cross that bridge.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that since you had such a good ceremony roll, that Kimi, your burden does not affect you tonight.
That's awesome. We should remember
There you go.
that.
Boom.
Thanks, guys.
Kimi's gonna be like bugging me like every night. Like, come on, just come on,
Forever.
just burn a little.
So I'm,
sage.
as usual, I'm staying up late to see how Kimmy's nightmares go. And then when I see she's doing fine, I'm like, right on. And then I hit the hay.
There you go.
I'm so excited for everyone else now for my horrible nightmare.
Yeah, Jaya, through the night, Kimmy, you sleep well. Aten sleeps well. Despa sleeps well. Jaya, you have this weird, strange dream of being pursued by a shadowy figure and consumed by him.
Cool. I'm assuming this is a passive thing where I'm not necessarily lucid dreaming and have any sort of great. Then that happens.
That happens. So as you wake up in the morning, you do see that Cheppy has prepared you a nice bit of oatmeal and some berries that you're able to eat. She also went ahead and laid out some hunting and climbing gear for you.
Oh, I couldn't possibly.
But
This
she is
is
not there
fun.
for you to refuse it. She's gone out to work
No.
in the fields.
You just leave.
So
We
you can
just
say it
leave.
to the door.
We
if you'd
leave.
like.
We leave 3 notes refusing it, and then a 4th note saying
Couldn't
thank
possibly
you.
let me take it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
and I say no, we couldn't.
I'll say a prayer for the
Mhm.
husband
Mhm.
and
Yes.
the family on my way out.
I
Mhm.
join.
Same.
Solid advice.
That was a great ceremony, Jaya.
Jaya.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jaya,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
didn't have any nightmares last night.
Oh, awesome.
Like at all. I normally have them all the time, but I didn't
All
have
the
any.
time.
I'm like, yeah. I mean, I can do it again tonight. I guess
Forever.
just forever.
That would be amazing. Did you have the nightmares that they've been talking about?
Yeah.
Okay. That's unfortunate.
Did you
Yeah.
see a shadowy figure?
I did.
Did it consume you?
Ten, you don't have to make her relive the nightmare.
That's so disrespectful.
Like, Hutton, you don't get to ask that.
Did you learn anything about how we might defeat the shadowy figure?
Are you trying? I feel like you're trying to bait me right now as a player.
No, I'm just trying to see if you found any informative information through your nightmare.
It was just a dream, all right? Dreams don't mean anything.
I don't believe that I did, unless there's a thing I can roll to see if I did.
Nope.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just a bad dream.
Yeah, I think
Totally
we had
fair.
figured out all the useful information in advance, basically. And so, no, nothing new. I can't imagine what, like, it seems crazy to think that the women in this village are holding on as well as they are after 3 weeks of that.
Okay. Well, we
But
certainly
y'all
would have
are able to make your way to Station 54. It looks relatively clear. Yeah.
Really quick, before we left, I wanted to leave a little note for the kid
Uh-huh.
saying if he's ever in Cahokia, I could take him on a tour through the Suyeta building.
Yeah.
And also, there's some weird soldiers out in the woods. Be careful.
Do not leave the house.
Speaking of those weird soldiers, if anybody wants to go ahead and give me some tracking checks real quick.
I'm on it.
big fat failure.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I can. I just
I tried and I failed across
I
the
mean-
board.
Kimmy's
Hell
got
yeah.
things. Desmond, you actually just rolled D6s.
Oh lol, my B.
so you did real bad.
You real bad.
So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I got us lost for a little while.
No, I got us on track. We're good.
Desmond's got you.
And
Desmond,
can
go ahead
I
and roll
use,
your
Holy
critical.
crap,
And,
Desma.
yeah.
can I use
Hudson.
2 minds?
You
Can I
can use
use-
one mind and change one of those 11s into a 12.
Yes. So that's
An
6, and then I
additional
get another
2d12. And Desmond gets to roll an additional 4d12.
That's what I was just about to ask. Thank you.
I like am headed away from the cliffs.
I got you. No, over here. Over here. This way.
So you are able to track your quarry along the ridge,
Mhm,
and you see let me get over here. The cliffs are a series of rock ledges miles wide. Rope and iron web ladders show the easiest path up. The climb was tiring, but it's not dangerous. And at the top, you feel a chill wind blowing across the rocky plain ahead of you. As you make your way across, the sky begins to darken, and the air starts to feel like snow. After an hour of walking, you arrive at Station 54 just as a light snow begins to fall. The station is nestled in a steep valley that looks like a rocky wound in the earth. Narrow and jagged, the crevice is about 500 feet wide at its broadest point and 100 feet deep. There are 2 structures. One is a prefabricated living quarters, and the other is a mechanical device that you'll have to examine a little bit more closely to identify. You were able to see that the team that you were tracking passed you a few hours ago, but you are able to catch up with them, and you see a team of 4 people approaching the living quarters cautiously and then checking the window. 2 go inside with the door already open, and one examines the structure, and the other one seems to be keeping watch but has not noticed y'all.
In addition to that tracking, is there any notice of drones, robotics, something surveilling in addition to them?
No, it does not look like it.
Um,
Then go ahead.
I'll ask Desba if any of them were women, because I certainly couldn't tell from my role.
I don't know if tracking acts the same as perception, but yeah, am I able to tell, do they have any form-fitting attire that allows me to dignify what their shape is?
Let's see.
What is the relative distance from like us to them before I even like attempt this? Are we like a mile off? You know what I mean?
I would say you're probably about 100 feet away.
Oh,
I'd want to be
geez.
farther. I'd want to be like
Oh, no,
laying
remember,
down
you're
and-
always 100 feet ahead of us, so you're right next to them.
Yeah, like I
Yeah,
want to
yeah.
be crouching and peeking over the edge of the crevice, like I don't want there to be any possibility that we get snagged or tagged or
Bagged.
marked.
You are able to see that there is one woman in the group.
Heard.
Can we communicate with each other privately? Like,
Yeah,
with
you
a
can do that with
mic?
your ECs.
Okay, so
We probably should have just asked this question way back when. So, go ahead and tell us what exactly an Anisi is. Like, I think in my mind it's somewhere,
sorry.
but it's like
a wristlet
Siri, but
computer
it's not.
device.
Yeah.
It's basically like a smartphone on your wrist.
Okay.
So, like, I figured that out, but when I Googled the word, it means like grandmother.
Aw.
I'm like,
And
hey,
so-
Grandma.
But like essentially we can have earbuds in that let us talk to each other with that. Okay, cool.
Sure.
Like that's
Okay.
the yeah.
It's our comm
And is
device.
that a normal piece of technology, or is that because of our
Yes,
station?
everybody has an NEC.
Okay.
Yeah, is the terrain such that we could actually surround them from above?
There is that jagged rock between y'all, so you wouldn't be able to really surround them. There's a bridge that leads out towards them.
Oh, so
And
we'll be
in
totally
fact-
exposed if we
Now,
try
this
to go
map
up
that
there.
I'm about to show you is not relative to your size or to the distance, but this will give you more of a better idea of what you're able to see.
Okay.
Mm.
That's where
And
we
y'all
are.
can adjust yourselves where y'all are. I should actually probably move into the token layer.
I mean, again, as far away as possible. I don't like the scale here. I want to be way over here.
But yeah, y'all can go ahead and you can, you're looking at them, you can confront them, you can just kind of observe them.
Kimi, thoughts?
I mean, of course I want to hack something. Can
was like,
I?
Can we get a bot here?
I know, right?
Do you have your own drone?
No,
Oh,
that was
shit.
in the simulation.
Damn it, that been lit.
That would be amazing. Do they have any drones?
No,
Yeah.
it doesn't look like they have any drones.
Okay.
Damn it.
They have
Can-
their local network box. Maybe you could hack into that.
Could I hack in that, or could I at least? Okay, I'm trying to decide.
It looks
You're
like they
like a-
have the stuff
Go
for a
ahead.
local network box, but it doesn't look like they're using it right now. Right now, they're just
Mhm.
kind of reconning Station 54, which is where y'all are outside, by the way.
I almost feel like the person who can turn invisible maybe should go in for a closer look.
So, I want to disable their communication between each other. So I want to hack their NECs.
I am going to say that you can definitely try that. That is going to be a difficulty 9.
These are military grade encrypted Anisis.
They've got like 9-key decryption, whatever.
Is this a joint effort we could do with like A10 and like do an invisible scout plus hack to kind of like cause a confusion flank.
Okay, I got one.
Listen,
I got,
I'm in full tactics.
I got one crit.
Okay.
I got 6 successes with 1 crit, so I'm rolling 2 more
Wow.
All right.
Amazing.
with 2 more successes. So
Okay.
it's 8 successes total.
Wow.
Fantastic.
Those were all 9
So,
and above.
You are able to kind of hack into their inices and shut down their communications with each other. And as you do this, you notice that the woman who is outside, she seems to sort of like touch her ear for a moment and like pulls back and then like touches it again. And then she immediately turns to the other person who's keeping watch, and he pulls out an extremely sharp looking war axe.
I reach for mine instinctively.
Okay, so like I've got my niece is like, all right, their comm is down. So Aten, you have got to get over there quickly to surprise them.
Quiet as a bunny.
Swift like a bunny.
I skulk across the bridge as quietly as I can, invisible.
We just
Okay.
see snow falling off the bridge. With no
I'm gonna check something.
Oh, is it really snowing or is it has snown?
It's
Has
getting ready to
snowed?
snow,
It's getting
There
ready
was
to
gonna-
snow.
but there
Okay.
is snow on the ground.
So it's just falling off with nobody on it.
Okay, so I'm doing the like toe ninja walk thing where I'm trying to leave as few tracks as possible. I can walk in their tracks, maybe. So stealth.
Yeah,
Oh
go
no!
ahead and roll
First,
me.
I have to roll my
Yeah.
power here, which is 8 dice.
How does range work while he's doing that?
Like ranged weapons,
Yes. Correct.
or well, for them to actually aim at him with their ranged weapons, they'd have to spot him first. So they would have, so their perception would have to beat his stealth DC, that is stealth that he's setting right now.
I more so meant for us to hit them with our ranged weapons.
Oh yeah, y'all can hit them.
Okay.
Y'all know where your teammate is.
Cool.
I got looks like 3 successes. Does the critical failure do anything bad?
Critical fail cancels out one of your successes.
Okay, so I have 2 successes.
So then they would need to roll 2 successes to spot you.
I think I should use another mind to
Is it 2 successes plus his stealth skill, correct?
Oh, plus my stealth?
Yeah.
No, that's for them to detect, isn't it?
Right. That's the number we were trying to figure out right now. That's why you rolled.
Right. So I have 3.
So that's 5
So
total.
the difficulty number will be 5.
Okay.
Actually, so
So-
I'm going to use a mind to increase that to 3 successes.
Okay.
All right. And then stealth is 7.
So that would be, so they would need to roll a 10 to see you.
I'm rolling my stealth roll here.
Okay. All right. You
That's
are
only 2
able
successes.
to sneakily get across the bridge. And I am going to roll their perceptions.
P.S. I just rolled my 5th 2, so my unnatural luck curse causes a story event, whatever that means.
Ooh.
What is that? Was that your gift or what is that?
That's a burden.
That's a burden?
Yeah, once I roll
Let me
5
do
2s,
this.
I cause a story event.
I'm gonna go ahead and while Shay's looking that up, I'm gonna go ahead and say this, Jeremy. The Super Trooper look that you have going right now is overwhelming.
See, I was
It's
getting
very
Top Gun vibes.
intense. It's very I want to hand you maple syrup right now.
That's right.
See, I was going super cool. It was Top Gun vibes for me.
That's it. I'll take both, right?
It's
Call me and
it's
Goose.
it's because of the mustache. It's 100% the mustache that's bringing it all the
Yeah.
way around. And so
Fair.
I
Fair.
don't want a liter of Farva. I want a liter of cola.
I've not seen that movie in forever.
So good.
Oh gosh.
Aten, are you in position?
So Aten, story event is an interesting feature that we have, where what that means is basically something interesting is about to happen. So Aten, as you make your way across, your chameleon shield flickers ever so slightly, which sets both of these, it sets both of them on edge. It looks like they're aware that you're there. And they hurriedly seem to be yelling at each other. The wind is picking up, and you can't hear them quickly, but your team knows that they know that y'all are there.
Pretend you're the evil shadow man. I can't remember his name. My character would remember his name. Pretend you're the evil shadow man. Yeah.
The man with the cane.
Yeah, so I will ice the closest guy.
And then you see the two people who were sent inside have hurriedly come outside.
Well, poop.
Jaya, light them up.
Yeah, I will also
So Aten,
hit one of the
you
guys.
get the jump on them, and you were aiming at this fella right here in front?
Yeah, what's my success number here?
That is
23.
going to be 8.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4 plus 4 more dice.
So,
Okay, so just
Interesting.
4.
so you get 4 successes. Let me get over here. Aten, what weapon are you pulling out to hit this guy?
The mag bow.
All right. Your skin drops right as you pull your mag bow out. You pull back. You feel the power of that arrow as it forms beneath your fingers, and you hit him, just head on right in the chest with this arrow. Now the trick is he has very good armor, just like you do, so he is definitely taking some damage. You've definitely put him in a state, but he is not down. He is still up. And he shouts back at the other 3. He's like, "Go on and go. I've got this."
Oh, and as a
okay.
secondary action,
And-
I can restart my armor, my
Yep.
chameleon thing.
And we are going to go ahead and go into initiative. So, Aten, what would you like your initiative to be?
13.
And Jaya?
8.
And Kimi?
9.
And Desba?
2.
Whoa. I don't know why that feels important, but it does.
Zero is also good.
I can put you at 0. That's an option you have.
No, 2 is good, just in case something crazy happens at 1.
And I'm gonna run past them down the hole, or stand at the top of the stairs. But since nobody can see me, I'm hoping I'll run around them.
Give me 1 second. Let me get this up here.
Although I guess that'll be on my turn, because yeah, surprise attack.
Aten, it is technically your turn.
As opposed to actually.
So they need an 8 to see me, so I just
Book it that
skulk
way?
around them to the top of the stairs of the thing that we're going to.
Okay. Is that all you want to do?
Yeah.
Okay. So let me do this. This woman is going to move around here to try and put herself between you and these 2 who seem younger. And she's going to pull out a weapon, but she is holding it defensively, and she's actually not going to try and hit you.
Wait, I'm
He
invisible.
turned back invisible.
Oh, that's right. Never mind. She
Yeah,
doesn't do that.
They have an 8 difficulty to see me.
Right.
Love it.
So I'm going to roll her perception for that. and she does successfully see you. In fact, she gets 4 successes in a row.
Wow.
Rest in peace.
So again, I'm going to say she's going to move up here. She's going to push this person back. And again, she pulls out her long blade, but she does not hit you. It looks like she's just sort of holding it in a defensive way. And that's what she's going to do. Kimi, it's your turn.
I'll say they haven't seen you yet. They only think it's me.
I want to move over here to the end of the bridge, and I want to shake the bridge to draw them our direction.
Okay. Yeah, you're able to do that, and you're able to get the attention of this fella right here in front.
Okay.
And he just sort of roars at you.
Okay.
It reminds you of a Despa.
Oh, I'm about to lay into this dude.
So, I guess. I mean, is he coming after me?
No, it's not his turn yet, so he's just yelling. But you know you have his attention.
Okay. Well, that's what I'm gonna do for right now.
Okay. And Jaya, what would you like to do?
You said these two guys appeared younger. I mean, I'm at a distance. I probably don't know this. By that, you just mean younger
Yeah.
adults, not.
Yeah,
not,
these two are younger adults.
They're not children sized. I'm not.
They're,
Okay.
they're not children.
Let it be known that
Good question. Yeah.
let it be known that I am not. I'm not
Jaya does
attacking
not try to
children.
murder children.
Right. Yeah, I'm gonna. I don't know that I'll be able to make out that she necessarily pulled a blade or necessarily where Atten was. So I'm gonna just let my mag sling go at this guy right here.
Technically,
that
you're
is going to
firing the
be-
first shot.
A 4.
Is that a pro? I mean, like, she pulled a weapon on you after you just stabbed
yeah.
her friend for no reason. I mean, it's
Yeah.
Yeah, technically Aten did release the first shot.
And then yeah, so that's the plan. I roll. What's the difficulty number? Did you say
It
8?
is 4.
4. Oh, 4.
Hell yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 successes.
Oh gosh. Okay. So are you doing this with your mag bow or your mag sling?
My mag sling.
Okay. You load up a sling bullet in that, and you catch this one right underneath, like in the soft part of the back of their skull, and they drop. Nice.
I normally aim for the gullet, but when I can, I hit the soft part of the base of their skull.
Nice.
Neck.
Oh.
And you see that this person sees this, and they immediately call out to their friend. Actually, with the distance that you're at, you're able to tell that those two are twins.
Do they call out saying, "Oh my gosh, my twin is dead"? Is that what they call?
Yeah.
out?
That's exactly what they say.
All right, Jaya, would you like to do anything else?
No.
Okay.
My character takes their secondary action to feel bad.
Feelings. Secondary action.
All right, so these twins are going to go technically on the same turn. I mean, this one isn't doing anything. So this is Dakota, and they are going to come over to their twin and use a standard action to try and pick their body up. So the two of them are moving away over here.
Oh, that's
Nice.
kind of a good choice, but also kind of a.
I'll shout at the nearest one. Surrender.
They just sort of make sobbing noises.
Shay is going to be playing this up the entire time.
Oh yeah.
She's going to be
Just
like,
murdered
"Yeah,
our fucking family."
you killed that guy."
Even Des is like, Jesus, Jaya, holy shit. The nape of the neck, really?
That's brutal.
Didn't even
So it
phase
is
your
now
son.
this guy's turn. He saw Kimmy shake that bridge, and he is going to come rushing across with his war axe drawn.
Cut the bridge.
Cut the
His war
bridge.
club.
No, we need to get
We have
across.
to get across.
And Kimmy, do me a favor. What is your physical defense?
My physical defense is a 7 plus. Okay, that's a 7.
All right. So that's going to be 2, 4, 6.
I don't suppose you're a master of martial arts.
No.
Hold the bridge.
So 7. So that's 1, 2, 3,
Pop, pop.
4, 5. All right, so that's 5 successes. So his war club comes and he makes complete just connection with your ribs, and you take 7 body damage. How's Kimmy doing?
My body's now at a 3.
There you go.
You got
My
so much,
body's
From
at
a 10 to a 3.
you've got so much more
so
body
no, my
than I
body's
have.
an 8.
So you got
So
one body.
You're at a 1.
Kimmy.
Sounds like a good time to look. I
Wait,
know I
did
can't
you-
use it
if
till
I took a
after
5?
combat, but
Wait, did you say it was 7 damage?
Yes.
You asked what my physical defense was.
Uh-huh. Every
And
time
then
he hits your physical defense, the physical defense is the success for being hit.
Mhm,
Okay.
So every time he hits that 7, that's 1 damage being done to
but
you.
the body
Okay.
takes the
mhm. Into
damage.
your body.
physical check, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So, and
So
my
you got
body's
laid
an
the fuck
8.
out.
Yep.
Okay, so now I'm at a 1.
And my
Uh-huh.
body is a wonderland.
He rolls 10d12 to hit. So
Okay. No, that's fine. I was trying to figure out how did the math work out. That's cool.
Mhm, 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 mhm.
So I'm laying on the ground. I'm probably not conscious. That's what's
It's
going on
fine.
with Kimi.
you're good. All right, but that is his turn. Desba, this guy just came running across.
Yeah.
Destroy.
I will yell out.
Also, if you cut that bridge, by the way, because I saw that in the lovely Twitch comments, Aten's on the other side.
Yeah.
I
Can't leave Aten
look.
behind.
Auden said cut the bridge. Like, here's also what I'll point out. It depending on how the bridge is constructed, if you cut one side of the ropes, they would tilt
That's
and they
true.
would fall off, and you would still be able to use it as a functional bridge on the other side. Most rope bridges work that way. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Still,
Letting-
Damage the structural integrity.
Also,
No
Station
big
54 is
deal.
this way.
Yeah. Straight up.
So it would very much be the mummy scene with the guess who's on the wrong side of the river.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. I will yell at this officer. Salish military, stand down. You are not within your jurisdiction to operate here, nor did you ask permissions. Then I will take my great axe and try to club this. I almost said the F word. This guy
I already
off
said it.
into the chasm.
This fine feathered friend.
This fine feathered fellow. Yeah, I'm going to activate my Warrior's Fire as a secondary action here, which gives me additional dice on melee attacks. I take out my gnarliest war axe because I carry 3 on me at all times. That's
right.
narrative. That's not actual mechanical. I have one.
And to
more
hit
weapon.
him, the difficulty for that is going to be 8.
Heard 8. D12. Boop. And I can also ignore my first 1 on my melee, so that is not a failure there. So I'm going to roll an additional 2d12. And it's 8, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 successes.
All right. Let me double check. Yep, you are okay. So how do you do this, Despa?
Yeah, so Kimmy gets raked in some fashion, and I'm mad and authoritative, and I put my glasses on, and he just goes tumbling off the side of this rope bridge.
You hear
Who are
and you have just dropped him.
As intended, and then I will take. So I'm able to do as many movement secondary actions as I want.
You can do as many secondary actions as you want in your turn.
Then I want to close the distance. I am going to click on my token, and I'm going to close the distance towards A10 here, and just kind of flank this guy. And that will be the End of my turn.
All right. And Aten, it is now your turn. You just saw Despa completely knock the other guy out, knock the man off of the bridge. This woman
Okay.
has not made a move on you. She is holding her sword defensively. And these two twins, one of them is sobbing and the other one is bleeding.
So it's a new round, so she has to make a perception check to be aware of my presence.
Should
Like
she?
I stand still for a second and
Okay. I can have her roll that on her turn.
well, because I want to be able to
Oh yeah, I'll have her roll it then. That would be 3 successes.
so I assume that sees through my
Yep. 1 success means that she does what she needs to do. The more
Okay.
successes you get is just how much better you do it.
Gotcha. So I just draw down on her and I say, "Give it up! Your leader's dead."
I'm the leader.
And if she refuses to give up, I'll shoot her.
Okay. So you want her to go ahead and answer you now then?
Say that again?
She'll drop the sword and she'll put her hands up. She's like, actually, I'm leading this expedition.
Whoa.
He was the
Oh.
muscle.
Yeah.
Well, your muscle went
Was.
off the bridge.
I noticed.
Don't you feel bad?
Oh, is the twin alive? Can I go give?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm gonna say that y'all can actually drop out of initiative, because she's like, we don't want any trouble.
Okay,
So
I'll
yeah,
go
you can
give
go
first
over
I
if you
am
want to
the
do some
manager.
healing to the twin.
I will keep a 1-to-1 with the leader here just in case of any funny business.
I'm gonna move he can go over and start working on him. I'm gonna move Kimi over there towards the twin also too.
Okay.
Because I would like to get in physical contact with both of those individuals simultaneously if possible.
All right. Is that 3 successes to do some healing on the twin?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, you can use that, and you can give that twin 3 body back. Let me get over here.
Anybody
It's a
gonna
hot
heal
10.
me?
Oh yeah.
Do we need to tie these people up, or are
Do you
they
feel
like?
you need to time them up?
Well, I'm asking my fellow adventurers here.
I mean, maybe just start by asking them some questions.
Well, it's easier to
Kimi's-
get questions answered.
If Kimi
when
was
they're
there,
tied
Kimi
up.
would if Kimi was conscious, Kimi would be interrogating them, yes.
Kimi is conscious. She's just in a lot of pain right
Yeah.
now.
So I'm gonna reach out and put my hand on Kimi's shoulder. I'm gonna use my ability, my Minder's touch. So I know you said Kimi went down to the ground, so I don't know if you're sitting or lying down.
I'm laying down.
Now that we're not in an encounter, you must be in contact with at least. I must be able to touch them. Anyone who spends, I spend 1 point of mind and 1 point of soul to activate the ability. My character heals 1 or more targets, repairing body damage. They roll spirit plus will, difficulty 7, and heal 1 point of body per success. So, spirit plus will is so that's still at 7 for me. So 1 or 7 d12. Ooh.
Yeah.
I don't. 12s do something different in here instead of ones. Ones are ignored.
Ones will cancel out a success, and then each 12 you can roll an additional 2d12.
So actually, there's different on the ability write up. There's some different
Oh,
rules
okay.
for. That's right. Yeah. So this roll cannot be modified except for with legendary points, and ones rolled do not remove successes. Your character may spend any amount of soul each point healing 1 point of additional physical damage. 1 point of damage is healed per minute, so it'll take a little bit. If a character rolls a critical success, they may use its successes to heal a point of stat damage instead of body damage, which I don't think Kimi has any. When your character ends, they lose 1 soul for each critical fail they rolled in the activation check. So I lose a soul for that also too. So there we go. So you don't have any. So yeah, the successes are just you feel real good at the end. Um, so
I'm
1, 2,
cool, but my
3.
ribs are still broken.
Yeah. It's actually so I don't know. Yeah, I guess the 12s don't. I guess it doesn't say the 12s don't compound them, but I'm guessing they don't. I'm guessing, or do they? Do you know?
Looking at it here and double checking that, what I'm going to say is that Kimmy, you take back 4 points of body.
Okay.
So
I'm back to a 5 now.
You feeling
so
better?
So I can walk, but like my ribs are broke.
you're good. Your ribs heal up underneath
Okay.
Jaya's gentle touch.
Okay.
It's all the bruises
And
now.
Aten, you said you trigger another story event with that last roll?
Yeah, my first aid for the twin.
Okay. So Aten, as you reach out to this twin and you give them some health back and they're able to sit up, there is a moment where everything sort of goes a little bit fuzzy and you can feel the shadowy evil reaching out towards everyone. And then you snap back and you're back on this snowy cliff.
This is a real weird thing to say. But also, if any of Kimmy's blood was on the ground, like we'll go ahead and like scoop that up in the snow.
Scoop it up, put it into an old water bottle.
I mean, if it's that cold outside, I'm assuming it probably would have frozen in the snow. So like, I'm just gonna collect
My frozen blood shard.
Collect the frozen bow, the frozen bow. And
I think that technically belongs to me, and you should ask for some consent to take that.
You left it behind.
Still.
And Desmond, what are you up to?
I just have to roll to stay calm, or I start hitting people.
There you go. All right, but you have this group of sailor scouts. You have 3/4 of them. Did you want to talk to them, or did you just want to push them off of bridges some more?
Well, it's
the wave of
between
anger.
take them with us.
Diana, you
tie them
paused
up.
way too long at the end of that question. I'm just going to go ahead and say.
I want information. I want to know things. So I go up to, I guess, their leader.
Yep.
It's like, what are y'all doing here? Why have you been tracking, hiding, going towards the station? What's going on?
Let me do this. Kimi, will you roll me a coercion check on that?
Coercion.
And anybody else can roll to back Kimi up and
Ooh, 1 success.
I feel like we don't need to be coercive. We can just be friendly.
Now that we've
Roll
mostly
twice,
killed a number of you.
Critical failing twice.
I'll tend the time for
minus
peace is
2 on that.
over.
I took away 2 of your successes.
oh my gosh.
I will also course because I'm being a real angry person right now.
Watson is in timeout.
That's only 2d12 for me. That's a 9.
All right. So with that, she sort of sighs. She's like, we were sent here to look into things because we found out the Station 54 is conducting geological surveys, and this is in violation of treaties. There's a digging machine there.
I mean, is that true? Like I'm asking, like I'm not in character, out of character. Like, would that be a thing that rings true at all?
Well, I would know that I would know that that's possible and would make sense.
But is there a broad NAFTA style treaty that prevents digging machines?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's. I was asking whether the factoid was true, not whether.
Oh
or
yeah,
not
Right.
the,
that is it. Is
the
true.
digging
That is
machine
against
part.
the
We just
treaties.
yeah. Okay, cool.
Okay. How did you get that information?
How did they get that information?
Note,
The moment when the story guide skims over
note,
things.
note to story guide. Like,
Be ready for the inquisitive player because that's me
okay,
and you're
here
not
it
ready
is.
for it.
Like, we received reports that there was a digging machine from some people in the village.
Are
Okay,
these assets of the Salish? Are these are they working for you?
No, but they mentioned it when they were in one of our cities.
Huh.
um,
Odd that we hadn't heard about this.
have you had trouble sleeping?
She sort of squints at you as you say that. She's like, yes, I've been having nightmares. Why?
Well, I think this is all totally something that Jai can piece together, by the way. So if I mean, if I need to roll for any of this information, I'm happy to.
Go ahead.
The man with the cane that you've been seeing in your dreams, so did I last night, and so have all the women in the village for about the last 3 weeks, which is when, and I kind of look at everybody a little quick, which is when the people who were operating the station went missing, and the man with the cane was sealed in a stone tomb, and now there's a digging machine that's dug into the earth, so I think maybe they unleashed an ancient evil that's trying to destroy us all. Us all being the people here. You know.
Ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba.
So yeah.
Is there anything I
She's-
could roll to tell if this person's full of it? Like hiding stuff from us?
Yeah, I'm gonna say go ahead and roll a deception check to see if she's deceiving you.
Alright.
That's not technically how deception checks usually work in games, but yeah, you know,
You
takes a
know,
liar to know a
bullshitter.
liar and all that.
A lot of bullshitter.
I would like to do that as well.
I got
Okay.
a 1 success.
I don't know who Knight of the Morgaine is, but I do want to desperately get them on a stream at some point in time in the future.
I got 4 successes.
Okay. Yeah, y'all are able to tell that she is telling you the complete truth.
Okay.
Bad soldiers.
Um,
You would think. they'd
I
hide
mean,
stuff.
like y'all murdered their big guy in front of them.
he
so-
wasn't gonna murder us. I mean,
He tried to murder me.
I
They-
did. You know,
If you try to murder me, I'm gonna murder you back. That's just the way it
it's
works.
true.
I
so
don't know if-
so I guess
Oh,
my
go ahead.
my thought here is we can all argue about whose land this isn't because it's not ours and it's not yours, or we can figure out how to not have a horrible ancient evil consume all the women in the village.
She's going to nod and she will actually hold out her hand to you, Jaya. And she says, "My name is Wayata, and I will help you in this."
It's a temporary truce.
And then we'll all go our separate ways.
Yes.
That sounds
Yes, you will go
great.
separately all the way back to Salish country.
Of course. And then you will all separately not follow us and murder us from behind.
Correct.
Well, we're not in the business of murder. I mean, we're. The
I mean,
good
we-
guys.
She just sort of gestures at the bridge.
like we literally
Kimi very sincerely looks at her like, our job was to find out what was going on here at the station, and that's what we're doing.
All right.
And not start a war. And she looks directly at Aten.
Okay, I did say the thing about not murdering. You guys were looking really suspicious.
I like how
just wanna-
Aten's like, I don't want to hurt anybody, but I do want to start some wars.
While all this is happening, I'd like to engage in a short rest at this time.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Cool.
yes.
But Wayata will gesture towards Station 54, which is just a little bit away. She's like, if you'd like, we can stay out here while all of you go and look around in there. Or we can all go in there together.
I think as long as we have our truce, leave the twins out here to cover our rear, and then you could come in with us.
What does the
I'll-
digging machine look like? And is there an open chasm into the earth near us?
You would need to go into Station 54 to find that out.
It's inside. Okay, that's fine.
Okay,
That's making
okay.
sure.
So like an oil rig?
Yes.
Okay. I know what those look like.
I will stay outside.
I'm from
Twins.
Texas.
So who is staying outside? Despa is.
Desba and the twins.
This is for my short rest.
So I
It's a
need
new
to
band
warn you.
name.
I'm using free source maps for this because we don't have our maps yet. And this next map is going to look very creepy, and that was not intentional. It's just the only indoor map I could find for free.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm
we
just
didn't want a creepy place with the guy who is a shadowy creature who could soothe women who you
Right.
need their blood.
That's not on tone at
Yeah.
all.
I was picturing like the Half-Life labs, but I didn't. Yeah.
I warned you. It's a creepy little map.
It's part of why you should go back it on Kickstarter right now. You can go
Yeah,
to
so we can get maps made.
ttrpg.link/CNCKS to go right there. So
Oh yeah.
Where's the necromancer?
yeah.
So now that you're in this not creepy building that
Right.
does not have weird arcane runes written on the bottom of the floor,
Mhm.
y'all can go ahead and roll any investigation or computer checks to sort of look around, or hacking, Kimmy, and you will do that at difficulty 5 because you have the Salish there working with you.
So hack for anybody who's watching. Who's trying to speed run this later.
Oh, Autumn.
I got 5 successes
Awesome.
on my hacking. I hacked.
Hick.
So, Kimmy, what you find while everybody else is doing that is, first of all, you see that there's a log in here. You see, first off, there are personal journals. There are personal journals. Yanaba recounts several days of frightening dreams, and Wimatun dreamt of heroically defending his fellow scientists. You also find software for controlling the machine, and it is a drilling rig. And you find security footage. It shows an indistinct gray figure holding a cane and killing a scientist with a blow to the head, and then dragging him under the machine. The machine that's in the room with you, by the way.
Yeah.
Also with your hacking, you see that there was like logs of activity on this machine, and there was an attempt to delete these. And then you find orders from the Council of 12. Would you like to open those?
Yes.
The scientist team was sent to search for minerals and other resources that may be valuable, and they were to destroy all records if there was an indication that they were discovered at this location.
Okay. I download all of this.
We're gonna
Okay.
We're gonna bust things wide open.
I copy
it on your
and
thumb drive?
paste. Copy paste to my private, undetectable by government file spot.
Everything okay in there?
I mean, yeah.
So far, so creepy.
I want to go over and look at the digging machine.
Okay. And did you roll me an investigation check? Is that what I'm looking at?
I didn't roll anything.
Oh, go ahead and roll me an investigation.
I like Jeff rolled and got up and walked away. Which I mean, given the roll.
Given the roll.
That's what Aten does. Be
Be
careful under the rig. Just
I'm not.
you might find something under there you don't want to see.
Autumn
I-
dipped out.
I've got that ice blood in my hands. Or in a
It's
little.
gonna melt. Be careful
little-
with it.
A little, yeah. Well, maybe I've got it. Maybe I'm taking a mag sling bullet and just like rolling around and the bow.
This gives me strong like exorcism style movies, or like one
Right.
the archaeological character is like, yeah, I'm searching the room, and then the one who's looking through the journal is like, wait a minute, this is
Dang.
look at this sketch. It's
Okay.
no, John.
Can you use? So that was a horrible roll. Let's go ahead and name that. Just let's own that. Let's sit with that truth.
Accept
Like that would have been another story trigger had I been a different character. So if I want to spend points to modify rolls, I know that is usually used to move up to a 12. Can you use that to just not fail also?
No.
Okay.
You can move any of those 2s into a 3, but you can't get rid of that 1.
No, that's fine. Well, 3 is 3 the success rate?
Nope. The success was 5.
Okay, that's what I thought. So actually what I want to do is I want to spend 2 points
You can do 1 point.
Oh, I can only do 1 point on one dice.
Yep.
Okay, I thought I could do more points, but only on one dice. Well, then I don't want to do anything.
But that does give you some information.
I got a success.
Outside of the area where the machine is, you're able to find some blood splatter.
Cool. I'll rub another bullet in that blood.
Cool.
I mean, it's one in 3 chance that it's helpful. 0 out of 3 chance that it's harmful. So I mean, like,
Atta, did you make a costume change?
he earlier.
I mean, I put on a sweatshirt earlier.
So,
So now, where you are and all the information that you have, you do have a few choices here. You can fight Nunyunui, but as you learned earlier, if you fight him, he will only come back. He will only piece himself back, and he will come back angrier. You can just kind of let him do his thing and just, leave him alone and let him run around. Or you can try to seal him back in the hole, and you would be able to do that with this drilling equipment.
yeah, that was kind of I think my thought was we could try to blow this thing up, and then if he comes out,
So
we hit him
in
with
Coyote
bullets.
and Crow, just to get on my little soapbox for a moment about us, we're very focused on the story of 3, and we like to make sure that people have 3 different options for what they do. And we never want it to be you do so you've got options for everything. But yeah, to seal in the man with the cane, Nunyunui, you would need to roll a science geology check or a computers check.
So you're saying I can't use folklore?
You cannot use folklore.
I can't use the power of
But
story.
you could also use the fuel and the batteries in the station to blow it up and do that and seal it. I'm not kidding. That's a crafting check. You can do that. You all just kind of looked at me like,
Well, I'm bad at all these things, so I'm just staring at the other guys in the group like.
Well, I have an 8 in computers, so
Yeah.
And Kimmy's computers checks are also all lowered in difficulty. So this would be a DC 8 check, but since Kimmy's doing it, that's a 7.
Is our
I'll
friend
provide-
good at blowing things up? Is our new best Salish friend good at blowing things
Lyetta?
up? Wyatta.
While Kimmy's rolling, let me check her stats.
Hi, just checking in. You need me to hit anything?
Yeah, and I'm giving Kimmy.
Do you see the twins in front of you? Don't hit them.
I'm giving
No doubt, no
Kimmy
doubt, no
moral
doubt.
support.
I
Um,
I got 5 successes.
So Kimmy,
Yeah.
you're able to get in there and do some typing, and let me get over here. You're able to hack the rig, and at the same time pulling all that information onto your portable little thumb drive. It's got a beaded case and everything. You're able to permanently seal the hole and make sure that Nunyunui stays within that tomb. You did not recover the scientists' bodies, but you are able to make sure he stays there.
That's okay. Can I just before as the seal is closing down, I just want to shoot these blood covered bullets down in there just for
Absolutely.
for good measure.
You're,
And since we're like the
as
power
it
of 3,
happens.
I'll put some of my blood on one also too and shoot all 3 of them down there real quick.
There you go.
while it's
I
closing
kick
up.
some debris down there just to feel like I'm doing something.
I heard gunfire.
And what would be the most respectful thing to do for the bodies that are down there?
So the most respectful thing to do would be to set up a memorial for them
Okay.
with their home. But now that you have confirmed that they are dead,
Sure.
you can take that information back to the Council of
Okay.
12 and you can actually tell them so they can set that up.
Okay, so
Ooh,
we'll make
let's
sure that
switch-
happens. That's on the to-do list. We've added that on our
So
way
you
home.
have fulfilled your mission.
Okay.
Yay!
As you exit the area, Wayata looks at you. She's like, so now we will go our separate ways.
Well, we'll
Yes.
follow you back to Cahokia-ish.
We're not
That's-
going to Cahokia.
yeah,
we're,
I
we're
don't.
going home.
I actually think geographically they are coming
That way?
sideways at us, and we are going
Oh.
vertically.
Yeah.
They are moving horizontally. We are moving vertically. We are not going in the same
Oh.
direction.
I got
we
my
were-
eye on you.
We were almost to
Wyatta.
Canada, and they're going to what we would
Yeah.
know as Seattle, and then we're
Yeah,
going back down
okay.
towards Kansas. And
Uh-huh.
so,
Okay. I wanted to make sure we gathered the scientist's personal effects before we left. so we can give
Okay.
them back to their
Okay.
families.
Yeah, you're able to
do the
get that
memorials.
information.
Do that.
Their
And
emails,
on,
you know.
as you're heading out, you're able to head home, and you are able to send a report to the Council of 12 about what happened here.
Mhm.
Is there anything y'all are going to keep in your report? Anything you're going to omit from your report?
I don't feel like, or does what does Kimmy tell us from what she discovered?
I'm not gonna tell you that they were told to delete everything because they had to have known if we went there, we were going to find this out. So I'm going to say that we did not discover that they were told to delete everything. I'm going to keep that secret. So we're going to say we discovered this rig. They discovered that they were drilling. That's what we discovered. We discovered they were drilling, and they uncovered the shadowy figure guy, and we sealed him back up, and any operations that were allowed here must cease immediately and should not be reallowed.
Okay. Do you mention that you let the Salish scouts investigate in your report to the council?
No, I do mention that we encountered them and that we slain 2 in our skirmish. But that
Technically, we only slew 1.
I mean, one of them was mostly slew until we brought him back
In
to
our-
life.
They were slewed and then they were unslewed.
like in our whatever. I detail our combat in that as part of our truce, we let them go.
See,
Okay.
I wasn't even going to mention them, but, you know, that's pretty honorable, Kimi.
Well,
I'm battle worn. They want to know why.
yeah, a few days after y'all make it back to Cahokia, the council gets back with you and they do look very favorably on your team for what you've done for them. And they thank you for your service to Cahokia. And you have completed the encounter at Station 54.
We solved the puzzle.
Yay!
You did
Alright.
it! You did it
Geologist.
violently too.
Thanks for coming to the Desba Twitch stream. This has been Adventure in the
I told you to
North.
stop doing that. You're gonna lose your rank.
What do you mean?
I'm pulling the plug. I've hacked Despa's stream.
Despa is canceled.
It's just filled with emojis.
I've canceled your stream.
Wait, I was
No.
subscribed to that. What?
Yeah,
Huh?
One of the council subscribed.
Atian, you have to do remediation work.
So we are going to have another guest join us in just 1 second. Shay, do you have a way to I'm setting up the scene a little bit differently for when Connor hops in. Do you have a way to message Connor directly?
I actually just exited him.
There we go. So we do a little thing here on Plus One Streams called Reaction Roll right after we play a game, which I'll do the full long spiel on in just 1 second. But we're going to have Connor, who is the whatever his title is. He's the head muckety muck for Coyote and Crow.
He's the top gun, the big guy.
That's right. There we go. And here we go. We're going to hop into a slightly different setting for that. Hey, Connor, you are muted real quick, so you're going to want to unmute yourself because there are a bunch of us in here. So there should be just a tab.
There we go.
Hey, how's it going?
How's it going, folks?
Good,
Hi.
good.
Look at all these smiling faces.
We just had a blast playing a great game. So
Excellent.
Connor is the head muckety muck of the team of amazing people who are doing Coyote and Crow. I'm going to do the formal spiel now so that I can just clip this later on and it'll all be wonderful. So we do a thing here on Plus One EXP. Well, no, I'm going to have to do it again in a second. We do a thing here on Plus One EXP called Reaction Roll. Reaction Roll is a live stream within a live stream. It's our chance to sit down with the creator of a game that we have just finished playing and talk to them and the development team about our experience playing that game, ask them questions, talk to them about the development process. Today, we are talking with Connor and Shay about Coyote and Crow, which is live on Kickstarter right now. There's a link right down below us, and I'll pop it in the chat if you're watching live in just one moment. It is a near future alternate history Native American future punk RPG that is again live on Kickstarter right now. At least these are all the things that I'm calling it as we've been playing it earlier. If you have better terms, Connor, you should tell us about it.
It's a mouthful either way, right? Like,
It's so many
mouthful.
Well, I was actually like talking to somebody. I was talking to one of my friends who is native earlier today, and like we were talking about the fact that like you have like Afro punk, you have like silk punk, you have some other terms, but there's not necessarily, as far as I know, a corresponding term for Native American like alternate culture stuff. So I would love.
Yeah.
I think you guys should just invent one, and that can become what it is. And so
We need to. That is definitely a hashtag we need to come up with.
yeah,
Because solar punk, hope punk, those are all great, but they don't fit. And there's a lot of good stuff out there, but nothing quite fits yet as a single phrase.
yeah.
Get on that, Shay. Get on that, Shay.
So if you're
I'll see what I can do.
if you're just joining us or watching this later, my name's Tony Vicinda here at Plus One EXP. We're a weird little brand that multi-classes in tabletop game design, beard and skincare alchemy, and the Bardic College of Content Creation. We just want players to be able to find great games that they love playing, and creators to find great players who love their games. Again, we've been playing Coyote and Crow. You can find us at Plus One EXP on social. We're going to whip around real quick. You guys don't have to do a full intro, but tell us who you are, for all of our players, where you're from, and then I'm going to have Connor give a little bit of an intro to like the elevator pitch of what Coyote and Crow is. Jeremy, go ahead and tell people who you are, where they can find you on the internet.
Hello, Internet. My name is Jeremy Gage. I use he, him pronouns. You can find me at JeremyGage5 over on Twitter. I am the host of the Draw Your Dice podcast, where we talk with indie game designers and publishers about their principles and philosophies to inspire and educate you in creating your own pieces of game design goodness.
Awesome. Diana.
Hi, I'm Diana Lorraine. You can find me at Modcaster, MAUDCASTER, and I'm the co-host of Powered by the Players, a Powered by the Apocalypse mini campaign and one shots, and I'm the co-GM of Christmastide, Ohio, a Kids on Bikes actual play podcast.
Awesome. Jeff.
Hey, I'm Jeff Richardson. You can find me at El Jefe Tacoma. I do Shattered Worlds RPG, which is a podcast where we use my game system. It's like a space opera with zombies and guns and stuff. And then I do The War for the Tower, which is an actual play set in the world of Stephen King's Dark Tower. And then Everything is Awesome is my Arts and Issues interview show. And currently on that show, I am reading my first novel in the Shattered Worlds galaxy. I don't know, whatever.
Awesome.
Saga.
And then,
yeah.
and then we had a special. We had a Shay was running the game for us. Shay, tell people who you are, where they can find you online, and what your role in Coyote and Crow is also.
Yeah, my name's Shay Snow. I use they, them pronouns. You can find me pretty much everywhere at Spells and Sugar. I am. I do playtesting for Coyote and Crow. I'm pretty much the one who's been playtesting the whole thing. Connor roped me in on this crazy adventure, and it's been great ever since.
Awesome. And Connor, go ahead, introduce yourself, and give us the elevator pitch for Coyote and Crow.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. I'm Connor Alexander. I'm the owner, creator, impetus. I think you called me Muckety Muck. We'll go with Muckety Muck.
Muckety Muck.
Muckety Muck is my new favorite title.
Head Muckety Muck. Big
Muckety Muck
big
at
Muckety
Coyote
Muck.
Crow. He, him pronouns. And the elevator pitch for Coyote and Crow is that it's a tabletop RPG set in an alternate history science fantasy world where North and South America were never colonized. Our timelines diverged around 700 years back, and new nations and new challenges have arisen on these continents. And we get to see a sort of a fresh science fantasy world with native and indigenous folks.
Awesome. Well, we just finished playing. I would just love to hear people like what people's initial thoughts were. Love to have Connor and Shay be able to hear you guys' feedback on the game. But then if you have any questions to be able to just toss them out also. Let's go kind of in reverse order. Jeff, why don't you tell us what your thoughts were? You played Atten, correct? And just tell us what your thoughts were about the game.
Well, number one, I thought the character design was really great. I think all of us played pre-made characters, and they all had their own vibe, their own kind of style. I thought they were really put together well, and our character dynamic was so great. We were focused on the mission, we were friendly, we were helpful with each other, and we were respectful of the cultures that we visited. I think we acquitted ourselves really well.
Awesome. Did you have any questions that you had having played the game that you wanted to toss out to Shay or Connor? And if you think of more later, that's okay. But
it was really easy to play and well thought out. So I don't have any like negative criticism at all. I think I might just scan the manual really quick and see if there's anything that stands out.
We'll pop back to you in just one second. Diana, go ahead and tell us, who you played, what your experience playing the game was, and if you have any questions for Connor or Shay, go ahead and toss them out.
I played Kimi, which was right up my alley as a tinkerer myself. It was so much fun. When I first got the materials, I was like, "This is ambitious," and I mean that in the loveliest sense. I mean that so well. And it was so enjoyable to play. I really liked how much combat we had, because in most of the games that I play, I don't do that. I don't play D&D. I don't play Pathfinder. So for me, this was completely different. I love rolling D12s. That's my favorite dice. My one question, and just as for me, I'm dyslexic. So just from an digesting a lot of information, are you going to have like a quick start guide or an appendix in your final materials?
That's a good question. So we have somebody on the team who is dyslexic, and we have been consulting with her in sort of a broader sense, just sort of an organizational sense. Sure. I think the one you mentioned, the game being ambitious. I think one of the things that I realized probably about 6 months into my development process, about 2 years ago, was that the more I wanted to get into this, the more I was like, oh boy, I got to add some pages. Oh boy, I've got to add some pages. So the book has gotten really expansive, but I felt like it deserved that level of meat to it.
Absolutely.
So I don't know if we have specific plans for. I know we have plans for a specific glossary, a specific a cog chalky glossary, as well as a games term glossary, but then also a general index as well.
Okay.
But I don't know if that's helpful. I hope.
I just meant for all like the skills, so like quick sheets that you can pull out for referencing, stuff like that.
Oh, I'm sorry. So yes, we're not going to do that for the book, but we are actually going to have all of that for the website. We're going to have a bunch of stuff on the website.
Perfect.
Wow, love that. Awesome.
It'd be awesome.
Jeremy, let it go.
Yeah, I played your resident loose cannon cop, Desba, Side of the Buffalo, Way of the Warrior. I protect, serve and protect. And I had a Blasty Blast. I do like the tactical side of the game. What I mean by it is like sort of like managing the actions and stats and things like that as I look at my own game design and what I love about it. For my question, it's obvious what the game is geared towards as far as setting is concerned, but is there a specific period of time, like a very specific period in time, that you're sort of like pulling these lores or oral stories or traditions or information from specifically in Native American history?
So that's a great question, and I have sort of a mixed answer for you. So the idea going into this, and then I've conveyed this to all of my writers, and hopefully Shay is going to be doing some writing for us as well. Is that I want it to be a mix of, let's take the really old, the stuff we all know from our own cultures and traditions, give them a new spin, give them a new modern spin, pull them up into. There's a few stories that I think that if you look on them now and you just translated them one for one, they would be a little bit problematic for reasons outside of Native American lore. They would be, you've got sexism and everything else that goes along with updating those stories. So we want to update that. Then we also want to take this setting and create some very specific twists on what new stories might have come out of this setting, what new myths might have been created. And then the third thing is that we're just going to want to say, well, we've done the odd and netty. What's something a little wild? What's something a little crazy, a little left field? And we have one particular writer, Coyote. Coyote is great at coming up with stuff that is just it's next level fantasy stuff, and yet you can feel her indigeneity behind it as she's writing, and I love that about her. So sort of a mix. I hope that answers the question there.
Yeah, absolutely. It's basically just, updating any past influences to fit what our modern standard is.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I had an absolutely phenomenal time playing it. I mean, I've been looking forward to it. I think we first bumped into each other in the Kickstarter RPG or Kickstarter board games group as you were just initially sharing. Was super excited about it. Was like, I want to play this game whenever it was ready, and was so thrilled to be able to kind of share it with people tonight and have Shay join us. Have you be able to hop on at the end? I grew up in Texas, and so there's a huge influence on Central and Native American culture. Spent a lot of time down in the south part of the country, then moved up to Seattle, and I was in Seattle for the last decade, and so got exposed to the Salish culture up there, a bunch of the different like ways that the Native American culture is represented there, some of which are challenging because they're just weird Anglo grabs at like Native culture, other ones that are just deeply authentic. And now I live in Philly where, like we just, they killed everybody and that was, at the end. But so, like it was so interesting to just see the approach. And I have a couple mechanical questions, but
sure.
Overwhelmingly, I just am totally enthralled by the world building y'all have done. So I just want to start it was great to step into it, great to see how it plays on a ground level, but from the macro level, I was just totally blown away once the Kickstarter page popped up, looking at it. But I just got to ask right from the very beginning, why D12s? Why D12s?
This is one of my favorite questions. Thank you for asking it right out of the gate. Okay, so first of all, I'm a fan of underdogs. So when in general in life, and so when I wanted to pick a die, I wanted to keep it simple for new players to RPGs. So I didn't want to overload them with dice. And I said, if I'm gonna go with one die, it's the D12. It is the underdog die. It is the die that I think is the great middle ground between the D20 and the D10. It gives a little bit more variation, but isn't as swingy as the D20. I just love the mathematics behind 12. You can do so much with the number 12, and it's why the number 12 is sacred in game. They work on a duodecimal system, and I love that sort of alternate style math too. So I'm terrible at math, but I'm a math lover.
Right.
Yeah,
we didn't.
Well, so many factors.
That's right.
Great.
We didn't. We didn't get to touch on some of the different pieces. People knew we were like critting out on 12s, but it's a really cool way to watch some of the thematic pieces and the mechanical pieces kind of bump into each other on that.
Yeah.
The other one was this is a more you guys have a more robust character creation process than a lot of RPGs out there. It's not complex. Like I was going to try to sit down and make my own character, and I still actually will be doing that before I do my review, because I want to be able to walk through it and explain like, here's what I did. But at the end I was just like, nope, I got to make dinner pre-gen like thing and still had a blast with it. But it's a really robust process. There are a number of steps.
It is.
A lot of people today are opting for like simplified things, or here's kind of the normal pattern. You guys have a much more open, granular process for that. Why did y'all lean into that direction instead of kind of a more like, roll these dice, or, like pick these three things? Why did you want this more robust process?
So part of that goes back to the core of what I want for people to get out of the game, which is a larger storytelling mechanic to happen. Less, even though I love dice rolling and I love getting into combat, that's great. At the same time, for me, what I want people at the end of the day to take away from this is a sense of creating new stories and legends. And I felt like the character creation process needed to reflect the depths of characters that I want. I didn't want random numbers. I didn't want just a thrown together chart for a character. And I don't think we have it yet in the current draft that I gave you guys access to, but I think one of the things that I want to re-emphasize in the next draft is that character creation in my game, I really want to see it as a group process. I want the story guide and the players to sit down together. I think your gifts and burdens come together better if you're in a group. I think the classic example is you get in D&D, you end up with a group of all rogues. Everybody's going to love the all rogue group, right? But I think in general, you come up with a better storytelling hook for your story guide when you've all cooperated together. And I think that those little touches in there, gifts and burdens, your backgrounds, I think those make much more well-rounded characters, and that leads the story guide to telling better stories.
Yeah. I loved it. Like I said, those are some of those. And then tell us, I just would love to hear a little bit about, and I think this probably was a communal, like hearing you share some of the things, reading through the Kickstarter page. I know it's a group process, but you took, all the kind of, the Native American tribes, nations, cultures that existed here, and then you've moved them forward, hundreds of years and in a different direction. Tell us about the world building process for that. Like, what was it like to start wrapping your brains around that, putting some of that together? I'm actually going to try to pull up the Kickstarter page real quick, because I've talked about the world map a couple times, and I want people to be able to see it. And we'll talk about the Kickstarter specifically also. But tell me about the world building process and how y'all started engaging in that.
Yeah, so I think where we started at right at the beginning was a sort of an ethical statement that we wanted to make, and that ethical statement was I as a game designer and as a Cherokee do not want to dictate what happened to other tribes in this world. It was really important to me to leave room in this world for other writers to come to me and tell me what happened to their tribes in this world. So right there, that put the wheels in motion for us to create a larger world and a more a fictionalized set of nations, a fictionalized set of we've even been tossing around ideas of fictionalized tribes, and to some degree that that's happened in real life. Tribes merge over hundreds of years working together. So I think the trick then when you're building out this world is giving enough specificity that non-native players can feel like they're diving into a detailed, realistic world, and that they have something to work with that's also non-appropriative, which is another reason that we didn't want to include real live tribes. And on the character sheets, we just left it as other identifiers. So natives can put in their tribe if they want. Non-natives can just leave that out, and that's not essential to playing. But at the same time, it allows for a lot of world building to happen in those spaces. The Cahokia, I think, is a perfect example. It's this wonderful metropolis. You can have so much adventure crammed into that city, so much world building into that city. I sort of envisioned it as a cross between like a New York City meets New Angeles. If you guys are familiar with the Android world at all from Fantasy Flight games. So they sort of re-envisioned cyberpunk with sort of stripped away a lot of the racism and a lot of the 80s BS, and made it this really wonderful diverse city that's in South America. It's in the Colombian jungle, and it's this. But anyway, I'm getting off track. Sorry. So to go back to your question, though, the original question there, I think what I wanted to do more than anything was capture what I think are some of the beautiful aspects of Native culture, and then try to strip out everything that we've had from our colonial past, and then still leave it in a way that isn't it isn't idealized in a way that we're going to see this as any kind of play on the noble savage trope or any kind of utopia. I don't want to give natives a utopia in this game. I want to give them a real world with real challenges. I just don't want them to have to face the same BS challenges that we all have to face in a day-to-day real world. So I think those were the sort of the guiding principles there. And from there, it was strapping on a lot of my favorite tropes, whether it was magnetic levitation technology or, some of the little touches we found in the game were based on real tech that's emerging, cutting edge tech, whether it's, hyper efficient solar panels or magneto-hydrodynamic propulsion. A lot of these are technologies that are like cutting edge, and with the right attitude we could have already been there. So that was kind of my take on the technology.
Yeah, No, like I said, there was just so many cool pieces there, and it was one of those things where you're stepping into it, and you actually, like, as a non-native player, you're bumping against, okay, what are my prejudices here? Like, what are my preconceived notions? How do I think this is going to be, and then how am I actually engaging it? Like, there's some of those questions you ask. One of the things I appreciate the most, because your campaign, along with a couple other projects that were in Zine Quest, really kicked off for me the question of, like, what does representative play look like? Like, what does it look like to sit down and play a game that was designed by people from a specific cultural background and lived reality and an experience that I don't have? And what does it mean to sit down at the table and play those games by those people? Y'all have made it very clear on the Kickstarter. And even as you read through the rules, there are a number of notes like, hey, if you're a native player, this, and if you're not a native player, no, like, not, like, don't. And I actually think those are very, very helpful. And then, we asked Shay, like, right at the very beginning, like, what's good for us to know? Like, and just, it was, be charitable, like, be good people. And, like, if there's a correction that needs to be made, we'll make that correction, like, as we go.
And I think it's important to point out that those boxes in the book where it says, non-native players don't do this or non-native players do this, those are not meant as hand slaps. They are entirely meant as positive guides. This is us welcoming non-native players into this world. We're saying, hey, this is a safe way to play this, to enter this world. Play this game. We're inviting you in. Yeah. So I don't. Yeah, go ahead.
No, they came across that way. They don't come across as like anything. Yeah, I mean, like, it was absolutely the right tone. Like I said, even on the Kickstarter page, you guys are very clear about that from the start. And so, like I said, I really appreciate it. One of my resolutions, and one of the reasons I was so excited to have Shay come on and run for us, and to have you on for the conversation, even though that's a normal thing that we do, was like, my end resolution was the way you avoid any of this being problematic is you start by playing in relationship with people who the game represents, right? You start by asking those questions, by being an actual relationship with people, by being respectful of those cultures, and by just asking the question, how do I engage with this? And when they say, oh, I think like this, then that's that individual's response, and that's what you start with, because they may not be representative of everybody from that community also too. Diana, did you want to jump in on that?
Well, I was gonna say, and you've woven it throughout the entire document. Like, it's notated throughout. You have it as part of your gameplay, just as, like, knowledge and culture, like, just little things to not only just be a part of how you should play as a person, but just to help remind you, like, hey, you're playing something that may not be your lived experience. You need to think about this. Which is just fabulous. So y'all,
and thank you. First of all, thank you so much for saying that. But I will also say that, shouldn't that just be the standard? Like, shouldn't that be the default?
Right.
Yeah.
It's important that you mention it.
But I thought I was coming in on the ground floor here.
Right.
Well, Steve from Asians Represent talks a lot about how play it at a con. And if you don't have any of that stuff in your document, and people come to a con and don't know each other, or it's like you've never met the DM or whatever, like, as long as you mention some of this stuff in the book, like, people have a foundation and a basis. But at the end of the day, what I wanted to ask the two of you about was the uncolonized future. Like, I've thought about this a lot because it seems fun, but, like, for y'all, it's like got to be even more significant. Do you want to talk about that at all?
Shay, do you want to start on that?
So thinking about the uncolonized future, this is something I've probably said a few times on my Twitter, and I've kind of mentioned it every time I talk about Coyote and Crow, was, I first reached out to Connor about this because he was asking for native playtesters. I told him, I'm happy to help out with this, and he sent me over this link to the Google Drive. And the first thing I did was I looked at the art, and there's this beautiful picture, I think it's actually probably on our Kickstarter, of an elder, and it's got this beautiful lighting and everything. And my partner could tell you, I burst into tears when I saw that, because this was something I didn't realize I needed in my life. Being a Native person, growing up, spending time with my Native family and everything, and then finding my passion in tabletop games. This is amazing. So seeing this uncolonized future placed out in front of me, that's like, you can play this. This can be yours, is so special and so important, and it's amazing.
Love
That's first of all, thank you, Jay. That's wonderful to hear. Thank you. For me, it's a slightly different. I don't think I've said this to anybody yet, so you guys are going to get an exclusive here. So, my my indigeneity is not a happy one. I've like a lot of folks. I've got a lot of bad baggage that goes along with it. A lot of unpleasant family history. And one of the things that I've been trying to do over the last 25 years is reconnect in a positive way to a lot of my heritage and reconnect in a way that that I have some control over. And this is one of the ways that I feel like I can do it, and not just with my tribe, but this game has brought me in contact with people like Shay and people like Derek, and we're able to connect on a level that I haven't been able to before with a lot of natives, and it's meant the world to me. I've for a long time I felt on a very small island with just a couple of my relatives on that island, and now I feel like I'm this game is helping me bridge. Yeah, and it's the world. It's the world to me.
It's beautiful. Beautiful. Let's talk about the Kickstarter.
Yeah.
How blown away were you? How blown away were you on day one?
Wow. So we, about 30 minutes in, things were looking good, and I was like, "Wow, I think we're gonna make it. I think we're gonna be okay." And then by 45 minutes in, when we funded, I was like, "Oh my God, I think we're gonna get to like $50,000." And we hit that in like 4 hours. And I was like, okay, I don't know what's going on anymore. I don't even know what to do at this point. So yeah, it's now I'm in the land where I've actually had to pass along a lot of my responsibilities to Derek and Shay. Derek and Shay have been really helping me out on the playtesting front and helping me out with the organization, because now I'm in the land of CPAs and attorneys.
Yeah.
And it's not really a realm I want to be in, but somebody's got to do it. So but honestly, I'm still reeling. I am reeling from this.
Can I give some context to the listener?
Yes, please do.
The goal was 18,000. Right now it's sitting at 451,656, which I'm proud to say I've got a few bucks in there. It's awesome.
Thank you.
It is awesome.
That's wonderful.
And that's a week. I mean, that's a week in.
Yeah, I've got the page up right now, so that I'm just scrolling through it as we go through.
In our Discord channel that we have to coordinate everything, it's hilarious. Every time we get a new update, we respond with the bananas emoji, because we're just like, this is absolute bananas. What is happening?
Yeah, and the comments on the Kickstarter of what really have I burst into tears a couple of times. The comments in the Kickstarters, how many people have said, I've wanted this for so long. I've needed this game for so long. I mean, I knew there was going to be some people out there that responded this way. I had no clue I was going to get this much of a response. I think the game's great, and I'm not trying to knock my own game when I say this, but I think it was more than the game. It was the game when I launched it. We're at a point in time when I think everybody really needed this, and it was just right place, right time, right game.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And my partner was saying to me, they're like, well, if anything, you've at least introduced a lot of people to a tribe called Red. So there's that.
Yes. Yes.
That's important too.
Yes.
All important things.
No, but yeah. I mean, right now you guys are sitting. You're creeping up on $500,000. There's a good chance you're going to break that million mark. Like you may run to be one of the highest funded games on KS. Especially in the RPG section. Like,
yeah,
it's beautiful.
They just got another $104.
Yeah, like every time I go back, like I've looked at it like a number of times during our stream, and I'm going to take credit for every single one of them. Like they've just been like, it's just been ticking up and up and up. Like people, there's still so much excitement around the idea, and I think it's something that a lot of people are asking, a lot of people are wondering, and I like, for me, it's not even just like, it is absolutely for Native Americans, but I think one of the other things you've done is you've created this space of hope, not just for Native Americans, but for anybody who has had an experience with their own culture where they don't know how it fits into tabletop RPGs, how they express it, how they explore it, how they go through some of the exact things you were talking about with some aspect of their cultural, ethnic, or lived experience, like games being a place that they can look to for that. You've created a space of hope for all of those people, regardless of their background. And that's an amazing thing to have brought to the table in this game. And so like I said, I've been tremendously thrilled the entire time. I do want to know then, I think just kind of as the maybe one of the last questions, I'll whip around again. If anybody else has more, we'll certainly chat about them. And if you guys are watching right now and you have a question, please type it into the chat. We would love to share your questions. What's next? I mean, like obviously finishing this project, but do y'all have some kind of long out there development plans for things you'd like to do once Coyote and Crow is on tables and on shelves across the globe? What are some of the things y'all might hope to explore next?
So I'm gonna list what I'm sort of dreaming about doing.
Yeah.
I will say that none of these plans are concrete yet. We do have an idea for a dice game, a D12 dice game that would also serve as a pack of dice for the game. So it would be a pack of dice for the game, and then it would also be a self-contained game. Dual purpose there. We also want to put out a story guide screen. I want to come up with some brilliant art for a story guide screen. I think that's a next big hurdle for us. I want to put out a couple of campaign books. I feel like one of the things that I've gotten from a lot of non-native folks is they're not sure what stories they want to tell in this world. And I totally get that. It's a big wide open world, so we want to craft some campaign books, maybe some regional books to talk about the other parts of the country, of the continent rather, and get some writers from those regions to put those books together. I'm going to hopefully just pass those duties off to other writers. And to be honest, when I started this, I had an idea in my head for both a board game and a living card game set in this world. So I'm also a board game geek. So both of those are near and dear to my heart. But we're already getting a lot of requests for things like comic books, graphic novels, animated series. I mean, people have been coming in left and right. So where this will go, like
they'd love for you to do all that work. But
I think dice is the next obvious step. I think we want to go with dice. But I think one of the things that I really want to try and tackle right now is not just because it's the right thing to do in our real world, but also because it's thematically appropriate from the game, is that I want bioplastic dice, dice based from bioplastics that are biosourced and biodegradable. And unfortunately, right now, there are a lot of companies doing those, but none of them make dice, and none of the dice makers have access to bioplastics. So I'm working on trying to pair some companies together and get that done.
That's awesome.
So
love it.
That is one thing about the uncolonized future that I feel opens you up. Like, I hope you'll be able to address climate change at some point. Maybe it's not a thing here, but all the ways that society can progress when the constraints of racial inequity and stuff is not constant crushing.
Absolutely.
Capitalism.
Absolutely. That is certainly a hope.
Yeah.
I hope. I mean, as much as I want natives to love this world, I hope that non-natives can look at this and maybe see some positives and get some positives out of this presentation. So,
no, I absolutely love it. Did any of y'all have any other questions you wanted to ask, or any other comments you wanted to toss out?
Oh, definitely make story guides. Do it, because you're gonna get people who are brand new to RPG who will buy your game and be like, "What's next?" Do it. Like, you will make bajillions of dollars. Do it. do it.
I like bajillions of dollars, as it turns out, so that works out great.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's more time with lawyers, but it's worth it for the community.
I loved where it went. I love your observation that it went from a conversation where it's like, oh yeah, I have to figure this out with my accountant, to, oh no, like lawyers and more big conversations around what this is doing, where this is going. No, I'm super excited for what you're doing. I think there's a lot of lessons to learn. I think my last comment, and then and I would love any insight into it. Y'all had, and I said this on a number of times on Facebook and other places on social media, the best first 48-hour backer goal I think I have ever seen on a Kickstarter, which was like 4 or 5 recipes by an award-winning Native American chef that you got if you backed in the first 48 hours.
Yeah.
I just want to know where that idea came from, because it was like, look, as somebody who sits and looks at it and critiques people's Kickstarter pages and gives them advice and other stuff like that, I always am like, yeah, I mean, if you're going to do something in the first 48 hours, don't charge less for your book, because your book's worth what it's worth. Don't tell people it's worth any less, because that's immediately going to start a slippery slope. Don't give away anything too big, because like people will get upset that they missed it, right?
Yeah.
And I think y'all hit the perfect mean from a thematic standpoint. I really want, like, I usually don't go in for them. Like, I'll just wait till I'm going to back it. But I was like, no, I want that, and it's such a great idea. Where did that come from?
So the first part of that is that I wanted all of our goals to be digital, our stretch goals to be digital, because I really want accessibility for all the tools to folks who are getting the donated copies. I don't want them to feel left out, like there's stuff that they don't have access to. So digital rewards were important. Where that met the digital rewards was we have Nico Albert, the chef. She wrote our whole food section. I asked her to rewrite my ideas on food. She's already done a whole bunch of research on pre-colonial strains of food. And so not only did she write that section, but as a gamer, it's not just context for me of the writing, but what I like is some sort of sense of immersion, a sense of living in that world. So I asked her to write me a menu for a fictional restaurant, and I think that's in the copy. If you guys have the copy in there, you guys can dig that up. But so she wrote out this fantastic menu, and it's incredible. I want to eat everything on that menu, and so from that menu, she and I were speaking, and Heather, my Kickstarter manager, said, well, you had such a great time with Nico. Can't she do something else? What about recipes? And then boom, that was the spark. I went back to Nico, and she's like, yeah, happily. I'll put together some recipes for you.
Yeah. And if I can, just to kind of bounce off that, I wasn't in that conversation, obviously, but something that really struck me about it, because I was talking with my partner and a few other Native friends of ours about the recipes thing, is so when you look around restaurants in America, you really don't see Native American restaurants. I think there's maybe one or two across the country, but something that's really that I learned when I was in school was people identify with other cultures when they see what they eat. And that's something is a lot of people don't realize that, like, Native foods and Native recipes and Native culture revolves so strongly around, like, eating and being with your family and such, and people don't really know what we eat. So providing these recipes was one way to really kind of bring everybody into that.
Yes, absolutely.
Love it. So smart. Like I said, one of the best things I've seen. It also makes me more excited. I think no matter who you are, if you're a designer out there, if you're a player out there, like, looking at what Coyote Crow specifically is doing in its world building, every single time I hear something new about it, I get more and more excited about the way y'all have approached building out this world that is connected to our history, is connected to a very real experience with people, but then takes it and moves it in a completely different direction. But I think it, like, considering what is in the restaurant, like in this, like, that is such an important choice that brings so much to the world. And people just gloss over taste and smells on RPG all the time, and they add so much. I think
music, language. Sorry, I want to say one thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
Music, language, and food, I think, are the three most important ties to culture. And certainly next on my list is trying to provide a list of, I think, music, like bands like a Tribe Called Red, that connect people to this world.
That's the thing. The Tribe Called Red, like the opening song, like anytime I listen to your Kickstarter video, or anytime I pop it up, like the rest of the day, it's like running through my head. I think Connor kind of cleared it up with a dice game comment, and I'm sorry if I missed it on the KS page. I noticed a big part of the campaign is the accessibility aspect. While D12 seem really well integrated into the system, they seem to be one of the least used dice. I was wondering if there are any plans to add any D12 sets to the donated book copies that are going out. That's from Jim.
No, Jim. Jim, did you say?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Jim, but I will say that we just added on a stretch goal for our mobile app, which will have a dice app integrated into it. So everybody can get to the dice through their phone.
Awesome.
And I'm going to make, even if we don't hit the stretch goal, I'm going to find a way to make that happen some way or another.
Yeah. Jim also agrees that the song is really addicting. And so, but no, it was some of those great elements. I can't wait to see more of it. I would encourage anybody who's watching right now or later, there's a link right down below our faces, but it's ttrpg.link/C and CKS. If you go right there, it'll take you right to the Kickstarter page. We're incredibly excited to get this game. I'm a backer. We like any of the games that we cover on stream, like we back. Like that's like we don't, any copies that we get, anything like that, we give away to people once it goes to print. We want you to go back the game now. That's why we are here, and I want to encourage y'all to go do that. And here's the thing: if you can't back it even for a reward, backing the game's at $1. It's first of all, it's $1. Second of all, it tells that creator that you like it. It helps Kickstarter keep that game higher up on the list, especially mid-campaign. That's incredibly important, which is right now. Even just sharing it on social media, if you can't back it at all, just going out and sharing it with your friends, your loved ones, other people who you might think might enjoy the game are some of the most meaningful things you can do for a creator. That social support and sharing that you love the project, even if you can't do anything financially, absolutely means a lot. You can tag Coyote and Crow on Twitter. I know, do you have a Facebook page or any other social media platforms that people should be aware of?
We do have a Kickstarter page. It's real easy. If you just do search for Coyote and Crow Kickstarter, it'll show up. But coyoteandcrow.net is our website, and that's where we'll have all our good information at.
Awesome. Perfect. So keep an eye on that. We still have never figured out a good way to close out our live streams. Jeremy's going to figure one out by the next time he comes on. It's his job. It's his task. But until next time, we're just all going to wave at the screen until I take us off the air.
Thank you for playing my game, guys.
Absolutely. Thank you for
Bye.
making it.
Yeah.
Bye, Shay.
Bye, folks.
Thank you.
Bye.
And thank you, Shay.
Thank you.